Chapter 110. Ah! Only then did Cheng Menjing realize what she had just done. She was a little flustered after hearing Jean Bei's words. "Bei, what nonsense are you spouting? I'm just afraid that you'll snatch it away and eat it." "Yes, that's it." "Fine. It's meaningless to expose you." Jean Bei shrugged. "I'm going to keep eating. I'm going to eat, too." This time, Cheng Menjing was no longer reserved. She picked up the chopsticks and began to put food into her bowl. Jean Bei, on the other hand, picked up the plate and poured the food into her bowl. "Bei, can you be more ladylike?" Seeing that more than half of the alfalfa tomatoes were gone, Cheng Menjing was immediately anxious. "Cousin Menjing is the ladylike one," said Jean Bei. "Neither am I." Cheng Menjing picked up the sesame oil lettuce and placed it in front of her. Seeing the two of them fighting for food, Xiaofan was somewhat speechless. Was it really that delicious? He had thought that 4 dishes and 1 soup would be enough. Who would have thought that it would turn out like this? What would he eat later? As he expected, the dishes on the table were soon finished. There were only some vegetable leaves and vegetable soup left. Jean Bei and Cheng Menjing were both rubbing their bellies in their seats. It seemed that they were very full. Xiaofan had no choice. He scooped a bowl of rice and soaked the leftovers in the soup. It was a stew. He took a bite. It was really delicious. No wonder the 2 girls were so excited about it. "Hey, Xiaofan, you are not allowed to cook as delicious as this tomorrow. I will get fat," Cheng Menjing said to Xiaofan tiredly. "Just don't cook so much." Xiaofan shrugged. "Besides, it doesn't matter if you are fat. You are too thin." "Xiaofan, do you have a weird taste? Do you like fat girls?" Cheng Menjing could not help but ask. Shen Jingxian and Kerlin are not fat either." Xiaofan thought of Tang Tang, but he did not say it. "Humph." Cheng Menjing snorted and stopped talking. Nobody knew what was on her mind. Jean Bei did not say anything. She was probably too full to say anything. Otherwise, how could a little chatterbox like her miss the chance to interrupt? After resting for a while, Cheng Menjing and Jean Bei went upstairs to rest. Xiaofan was about to return to his room to practice when he saw Xiaoya coming downstairs. Smelling the smell of the food that had not dispersed in the dining room, he frowned. "You should take some herbal soup. Avoid meat." "Thanks for the reminder, but it is not for me. I. Xiaoya. 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 Xiaoya." Shaking her head, Yi Xiaoya said nothing. She opened the fridge and took out the bitter fruit. Obviously, she was going to decoct the herbal soup. Xiaofan nodded at her and returned to his room. To be honest, Xiaofan coveted Yi Xiaoya's bitter fruit. It would be great if she could give it to him. In that case, he would not have to worry about the high price of the medicinal materials. However, Xiaofan had some money now. Naturally, he would not covet Yi Xiaoya. After returning to his room, Xiaofan set the time for the herbal soup and entered the state of cultivation. After taking the decocted herbal soup, Xiaofan still did not advance to the 4th level of the qi refinement stage smoothly. He was still at the peak of the 3rd level. However, Xiaofan was not in a hurry. In just a few days, he had obtained the strength that he could not achieve in the past 10 years. In particular, the fight in the underground boxing field tonight made Xiaofan a little excited. Strength, this was the strength that he had dreamed of before, but now he had it when he was down and out. After a quiet night, Xiaofan got up before dawn the next morning and rushed to the morning market street. Although he had money in his pocket, Xiaofan did not forget his roots. He went to the morning market street not only to make money, but also because there was his happiness, and he wanted to protect his buddy. "It's great to see that you are fine. Tang Tang, with dark circles under her eyes, showed a reassuring smile when she saw Xiaochen. Obviously, she was worried about Xiaochen all night. "I'm sorry, I should have sent you a message last night." Xiaochen was a little embarrassed. After going back last night, he was busy cooking and then cultivating, so he forgot to tell Tang Tang. "It's nothing. Did Cheng Menjing not want you to go back so late?" Tang Tang shook her head indifferently. "It's good that you are fine. Did you win or lose yesterday?" "I won. I also know that Lu Zhenming is deliberately looking for trouble with me, but even if I don't go to boxing, will he let me go? Maybe he will think of other tricks to deal with me. It's better for me to follow his wishes, and he will stop for 2 days." Xiaochen said. "That's true." Tang Tang nodded. "Right, how much money did you win?" Xiaochen hesitated and did not hide it. He stretched out a finger. He couldn't say White Fox's, but he could say Xiaochen's. Even if he didn't say it, maybe Lu Zhenming would leak it out. 10,000? Didn't you say that I won 100,000? Tang Tang was slightly stunned, and then said, 10,000 is not bad. How many days do I have to sell fried dough sticks? Ugh, it's 1 million. Xiaochen said. 100, puff, what? Tang Tang's eyes widened, and the action of loading the car stopped. She looked at Xiaochen blankly. Really? I say, Tang Tang, you used to be the miss of the Tang family. 1 million shouldn't be like this, right? Xiaochen smiled bitterly. It wasn't like this before, but now. I don't know what to say. You didn't lie to me, right? Tang Tang still didn't believe it. I really didn't. Xiaochen said, this is the case. In addition to participating in the competition and winning the 100,000 yuan prize, I also borrowed some money to bet, so I won this much. D*****, you are too ruthless. Then why are you still selling fried dough sticks? Tang Tang was a little baffled. You are already a millionaire. Do you still care about this little money? Isn't there a good saying? It's not how much money you make, but who you make money with. Xiaochen smiled. Tang Tang was stunned. She looked at Xiaochen and pursed her lips. For a while, her expression was a little weird. Aren't we brothers? I can't ignore you just because I'm rich, right? Without me, you can't make such a popular fried dough stick, right? Xiaochen saw that Tang Tang seemed to have misunderstood, so he quickly explained. You should have said it earlier. You scared me. I thought there was something wrong with your sexual orientation. Tang Tang patted her chest. Am I really interested in Tang Tang? A thought flashed in Xiaochen's heart. No, she treats me as a brother. How can I have such a thought? Xiaochen shook his head. How is it possible? Don't I like Cheng Menjing? I really didn't expect that there would be a counterattack, but Xiaochen, you have to work hard. Maybe you can counterattack one day. Buddy, I am optimistic about you. Tang Tang patted Xiaochen's shoulder. I don't expect to counterattack Cheng Menjing. It's more likely to counterattack you. Xiaochen shook his head. He still had self-knowledge. He couldn't be self-righteous just because he had a little strength. There was still a long way to go to make these families look up to him. You really have no ambition. If you want, I'll let you do it now. Tang Tang curled her lips and didn't take Xiaochen's words seriously. After loading the rickshaw, Xiaochen pedaled the tricycle in front, and Tang Tang sat behind. This warm scene seemed to be familiar with each other, and the two of them were indispensable. Today, Kerlin didn't work hard when she was pushing the rickshaw, but looked around. D*****mn girl, just push the rickshaw. Why are you looking around? Mother Lin found that Kerlin didn't push the rickshaw well today, which increased her load a lot. She was a little annoyed. Are you looking at the scenery? I don't. Lin was actually looking for Xiao Chen, but how dare she say this to her mother? If her mother knew that she was looking for a boy, wouldn't she be beaten to death? If you don't have, then push the rickshaw. You're so weak. Didn't you sleep well? Mother Lin snorted. Lin Kuo hurriedly lowered her head and pushed the cart with all her might. However, from the corner of her eyes, she saw a familiar figure pedaling a tricycle at a crossroad not far away. He turned a corner and headed towards the direction of the morning market. Ah! Lin exclaimed. It's Xiao Chen. If I push the rickshaw forward like this, I don't want to be discovered by Xiao Chen. At that time, what if Xiao Chen knows that I bought his fried dough sticks? He would misunderstand that I like him, wouldn't he? But I just want to help him. Maybe there's a little affection. What's wrong again? Mother Lin heard her daughter's voice and asked quickly. Although she always scolded Lin, she still cared about her daughter. I twisted my ankle. Lin's voice was trembling. Lying wasn't her forte. For Xiao Chen, she lied to her parents for the second time. However, because of her trembling voice, Mother Lin really believed it. You unlucky child. Who asked you to look left and right? Are you done? Did you twist your ankle? Is it serious? No, it's okay. I just need to rest for a while. Lin said carefully. Then you sit by the side of the road for a while. Your dad and I will push the rickshaw over. Mother Lin was helpless, but her daughter was injured. She couldn't force her to work, right? It was still okay for the two of them to work a little harder. Oh. Lin whispered and went to sit by the side of the road. Looking at the figures of her mother and father going away, Lin's heart was slightly uncomfortable. Did I learn bad things? How can I lie to my family for a boy? I am no longer the simple Lin from before. Woo-woo. After a while, she estimated that Xiao Chen should have arrived at their booth. Lin stood up, lowered her head, and walked quickly to the morning market street. When she passed by Xiao Chen's booth, she was particularly nervous. She tried to hide from the sight of other pedestrians in the morning market. With a glance from the corner of her eyes, she saw that Xiao Chen was busy. He has finally changed. He has become diligent. He is no longer the young master who asked people to eat. I don't know. How is his academic performance? Lin didn't dare to stay and quickly ran to her family's board noodle stall. Chapter 111. In fact, it was impossible for Xiao Chen to notice Lin at all. There were so many people on the morning market street. He couldn't look at others while frying youtiao, and there was no need for it. It was Lin who thought too much. Mother Lin was also preparing to open the stall. When she saw Lin running over, she frowned and said, "What's wrong with you, girl? How can you run so fast with a sprained ankle? Do you want to die?" Lin's face was a little red. Yes, she was thinking about Xiao Chen's changes before and after, and forgot about her sprained ankle. She quickly said, I was afraid that Mom and Dad would be busy here, so I rushed over as soon as I got better. All right, old lady, don't scold the child. The child is just being kind. Lin Dongliang was an honest man. Although he was sometimes afraid of his wife, he would still speak up when it came to the child. Go and wash the vegetables. Mother Lin nodded. Although she kept scolding Lin, she thought that the child was kind, so she let it go. Lin rushed to wash the vegetables. However, she had been a little absent-minded. She always thought that after a while, she would go to Xiao Chen to buy youtiao and soybean milk, but she was afraid that her mother would not agree. What if she agreed and asked her to buy as much as yesterday? Yesterday, he had already taken care of her very much. Today, she couldn't be so shameless to ask for so much, right? Worrying about gains and losses, Lin was like a robot, mechanically doing the work at hand. Fortunately, there was no technical content in washing vegetables, cooking vegetables, and noodles, and there would be no mistakes. When Xiaofan was making the youtiao, he wanted to inject a trace of primordial qi, but he gave up after thinking about it. These things used to sell were already very delicious. If they were more delicious, it might cause some people suspicion, and then it would not be worth it. Today, Xiaofan was crazy busy. Tang added a new project. Tofu pudding and soybean milk didn't need to be managed by himself, but in addition to youtiao, there were also sesame balls and fried dough twists. Xiaofan had been frying non-stop since the beginning of the stall. And their stall had become famous, and there was an endless stream of customers buying things. After a while, Lin felt that it was almost time. She hesitantly raised her head and looked at her mother. "Mom. I still want to eat the youtiao I bought yesterday." Mother Lin was just about to ask what to eat when she suddenly remembered that Lin Kur had bought so much with 15 yuan yesterday. It was a great deal, so she took out another 15 yuan and handed it to Lin Kur. "Let's buy the ones from yesterday. It's enough for our whole family." Lin Kur's face instantly turned bitter. What she feared had come true. Yesterday, Tang had taken care of her and gave her a little more. But today, how could she ask for more? "Chen, go." "What?" Lin asked. "Lin, Chen, hurry up and go." Mother Lin frowned. "I'm hungry from all the work." "Oh." Lin had no choice but to pick up the money and slowly walk to Xiao Chen's booth. She was thinking about how she would be scolded when she came back, but scolding was a small matter. Tomorrow, maybe he wouldn't let her buy things anymore. Walking all the way to Xiao Chen's booth, Lin saw that Xiao Chen was frying youtiao, and immediately stopped. She didn't want Xiao Chen to see her. Wouldn't it hurt his self-esteem? Lin Kur decided to wait for a while. She found a place with a lot of people to hide, and quietly watched Xiao Chen's side, looking at him seriously frying youtiao, meticulously and without the slightest pause. Lin Kur suddenly realized that Xiao Chen was actually quite handsome. In the past, she had already seen his hedonistic side, so when she saw him, it was as if she wanted to avoid him. But now, he should be the Prince Charming in the hearts of those girls, right? Lin thought about it, and her face turned red. Why did I think of these messy things? Xiao Chen couldn't really like me. He used to pursue me, and he also liked Shen Jingxian, and Cheng Menjing, his fiancée. Maybe he just wanted to play with me? People ate grains, and Xiao Chen hadn't transcended to the ranks of the omnipotent immortals who didn't need to eat and drink. Naturally, he had to go to the toilet. The fried youtiao was almost done, and it was enough to sell for a while. Xiao Chen said goodbye to Tang and went to the toilet. At this time, when Xiao Chen left, Lin breathed a sigh of relief and walked over quickly. However, there were still people buying things at this time. Lin held the 15 yuan and didn't know what to say. Tang also saw Lin. She had some impression of this girl in school uniform who came yesterday, but because she was busy greeting other customers, she didn't have time to talk to her. Until there were no customers for the time being, Tang asked, "Junior sister, what's wrong?" My mother asked me to buy." Lin's smile at the moment was uglier than crying. She didn't like to take advantage of others. At this moment, she said this sentence, and she couldn't say anything else. "Your mother asked you to buy?" Tang was slightly stunned. "How much did you buy today?" "My mother asked me to buy yesterday's." Lin spread out the 15 yuan in her hand with some embarrassment and bowed her head shyly. "You still bought yesterday's?" Tang was not stupid. Seeing Lin's embarrassment, she immediately understood what she meant. It turned out that her mother felt that she took advantage of her yesterday, and today she still asked her to take advantage of her. However, this girl's mind was relatively simple, and she wasn't used to this. Otherwise, if it were some ordinary people in the market, they would probably directly tell Tang Tang that they bought those for 15 yuan yesterday, and they would also sell these for 15 yuan today. I'm sorry. Sister, you can sell as you like. You don't have to take care of me. Lin also saw today that Xiao Chen's youtiao stall had an endless stream of customers. It didn't look like it couldn't sell. Oh, 15 yuan. Then you say 15 yuan. It's the same as yesterday, a soy milk, and the rest are youtiao, right? Tang Tang could see that since Lin's family also opened a stall on the morning market street, they must not be rich. She would take care of them if she could. After that, she began to fill a bowl of soy milk for Lin. However, the amount of soy milk was about the same as yesterday, more than 2 bowls. She also gave a lot more youtiao. After filling it, Tang Tang pretended to be indifferent and handed it to Lin. We sell things on the same street. I'll give you a discount next time. Ah. Thank you, sister. Lin breathed a sigh of relief. She didn't know why, after knowing that Xiao Chen didn't need help, Lin still wanted to buy breakfast here every day. Was it because Xiao Chen's cooking was delicious? Lin took the breakfast, thanked her, and left quickly. She was afraid that if she left a little later, Xiao Chen would come back. Carrying the youtiao, Lin Kuer did not have the slightest bit of joy from yesterday when she had bought a lot. Yesterday, she had thought that she was helping Xiao Chen, so she had bought more to help him eliminate his stock, so she did not feel any guilt. However, today was different. Today, it was clearly that elder sister who was giving to her. Alas! Lin didn't want so much, but she was afraid that her mother would go back and scold her, and would never let her come again. While worrying about gains and losses, Lin returned to her family's noodle stall. You bought so much again? Does this stall make money? If we sell noodle like this, we will lose a lot of money. Mrs. Lin took the youtiao from Lin's hand and happily asked Lin Dongliang to eat it, not noticing the helplessness in Lin's eyes. Lin moved a stool, sat in front of the stall, and ate the youtiao and soy milk with her parents in silence. It was delicious. She didn't expect that Xiao Chen could make such delicious food. You buy it every day. We don't eat noodle anymore. I'm sick of eating it every day. It's not much expensive, and it's delicious. Mrs. Lin was also addicted to it, thinking it was much better than eating noodle every day. Mom. He gave me so much to take care of me because I also run a stall in the market. I don't want to buy it every day. How can I do that? Lin finally couldn't help it. She thought that if she went every day, she would not help Xiao Chen, but take advantage of him. You are such a prodigal child. What's there to be embarrassed about? I'm not asking you to beg. You are buying it with money. We are in the same market. If you take care of it today, can you not take care of it tomorrow? At most, you won't make any money. You tell him that the next time he comes to our house to eat noodle, we will also give him the cost price. Mrs. Lin said as if it was a matter of course. She was addicted to it. How could she not eat it? Lin pursed her mouth, but how could she dare to talk back to her mother? Sure enough, not long after Lin left, Xiao Chen came back. Seeing that the youtiao was almost sold out, he fried it again. By the way, yesterday the girl whose family also runs a stall here came to buy youtiao again. 15 yuan, I still gave her the same amount as yesterday. Oh, it doesn't matter. We are all in the same market. You decide. Xiao Chen didn't care about this kind of thing at all. After selling for a while, they were about to close the stall and leave for school. Today was the day the results were announced. The exams for the 3rd year of high school were very frequent. It was impossible for the teacher to announce the results one by one solemnly every time. They would distribute the papers, and then there would be a big list of their age ranking. At this time, those who could study would study hard. Those who didn't like to study would usually find a way out for their families. Anyway, although the number 2 middle school was not as good as the number 1 middle school, there were many rich people in it. This time, Xiaochen got the 10th place in the grade, while Tang Tang got the 6th place. To Xiaochen's surprise, the young lady was actually the 3rd place in the grade. He usually didn't watch the young lady study, but she was still among the best. It seemed that she had some real skills and was not a pure arrogant and brainless goddess. As for Jean Bebe, her name couldn't be found in the top 100. He only found her in the class list. Her results were very bad, and she was in the bottom 10. Chapter 112. However, Xiaochen knew that Jean Bebe was very smart, and her mind was probably not in the right place. Anyway, as a young lady of an aristocratic family, it did not matter whether her studies were good or not. She would marry after all. Aristocratic families did not care about studies, but who could bring more benefits to the family? Lu Zhenming's results were cancelled, and he was very depressed. As a new member of an aristocratic family, he cared about his exam results very much. Because of the nature of his family, it was difficult for him to enter the upper class. Therefore, Lu Siwen had always wanted Lu Zhenming to be successful in his studies. At least, he could be regarded as a cultured person. Well done, Xiaochen. I didn't expect that you could get a scholarship of 1,000 yuan after studying for a few days. Tang Tang took over Xiaochen's test paper, but she suddenly frowned. Hey, Xiaochen, what's wrong with you? Why are the multiple-choice questions still blank? Even if you don't know how to do it, you might get it wrong by randomly choosing one, right? Hehe, I didn't write it on purpose. If the results are too good, it will easily attract some unnecessary attention. That's enough. Xiaochen had given up the idea of using exams to make money. His current money should be able to support him for a while, as long as the drugstore did not cheat him. Today's class was all about explaining the exam papers. The morning passed quickly. At noon, Zheng Xiaokuan turned his head and said to Xiaochen, "Xiaochen, did you really go to Lu Zhenming's boxing field to fight yesterday?" "Yes, and I won." Xiaochen nodded. "Damn, how much did you win?" Zheng Xiaokuan was stunned. In his opinion, with Lu Zhenming's character, it would be good if he did not find someone to beat Xiaochen to death, let alone let Xiaochen win money. 1 million. Xiaochen did not fool Zheng Xiaokuan anymore, but said directly. 1 million? My God! Zheng Xiaokuan's eyes widened, and his expression was the same as Tang Tang's before. Why do I feel it is so unrealistic? Is Lu Zhenming so generous? That boxing arena is the Lu family gang. It's probably because the great boxing masters aren't here, and the person I'm fighting is too weak. Originally, Lu Zhenming didn't want me to fight, but I insisted, so he reluctantly agreed. In the end, I won. Xiaochen said. He didn't explain too many details. Lu Zhenming naturally wouldn't say these things. So that's how it is. No wonder he stopped you because he didn't have the confidence. But he's really unlucky. Zheng Xiaokuan nodded in realization. But Xiaochen, you're lucky this time. Next time, forget it. You don't know that kid, he's very sinister. A family that plays with the underworld is different from a normal family. Yes, I know. Xiaochen couldn't help but smile bitterly. A normal family was probably not as good as a family that played with the underworld. At least, what Lu Zhenming wanted to do, he was straightforward. But now Xiaochen had not figured out which family was the other group of people who wanted to deal with him. At noon, the three casually ate something in the cafeteria and returned to the classroom. Lu Zhenming and Yu Xiaochuan didn't invite Xiaochen to eat again. It seemed that they had stopped. Until school ended in the evening, no one looked for trouble with Xiaochen. Although Tang Tang, Zheng Xiaokuan, and Lu Zhenming all knew Xiao Chen's identity, except for Tang Tang. Others didn't know the relationship between him and Cheng Menjing. So he didn't take Cheng Menjing's car back, but still chose to walk. When he got home, he saw Cheng Menjing sitting alone on the sofa in the living room. When she saw Xiao Chen coming back, she said angrily, "Hey, I sent you a text message. Why didn't you come back with me? I'm afraid that it'll be a bad influence. Besides, didn't you say that you don't want me to go to and from school with you?" Xiao Chen shrugged. "I changed my mind, okay? I'm starving. You go and cook." Cheng Menjing thought of the delicious food last night. The lunch in the cafeteria was tasteless. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded. It turned out that the miss was in a hurry to eat. Today, there was only Cheng Menjing. Jean Bebe was not there, so Xiao Chen didn't cook too much. He made 3 dishes, and it was enough. All the ingredients he bought yesterday had been used up. After the dishes were set on the table, Xiao Chen asked Cheng Menjing to come to eat. Cheng Menjing was still watching the TV series called School Bell's Bodyguard. She was fascinated by it. When she saw Xiao Chen, she pointed it out to him. "Hey, look, in that TV series, Miss Mengyao's bodyguard is also very powerful. But he not only knows how to cook, but also has great kung fu. You have to work hard, or I'll replace you." That's all in the TV series. How can such a powerful person be a bodyguard? Xiao Chen glanced at it and said. "Why not? Can't he like Miss? I am under the orders of the eldest Miss's father to pursue the eldest Miss," Cheng Menjing said in a serious manner. "Then, does Uncle Cheng want me to pursue you?" Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. "You? If you're so powerful, I'll consider it." Cheng Menjing didn't expect Xiao Chen to become so powerful, so she didn't feel any pressure when she said that. Anyway, her intention was to show how good Lin Yi's bodyguard was in the TV series and how bad Xiao Chen was, so that he could improve himself. Is that so? Xiao Chen's heart skipped a beat. "Okay, let's eat. I'm hungry." Cheng Menjing saw that Xiao Chen asked this, and her face was a little hot. She quickly changed the topic. "Oh right, help me pay attention to the author Fishman Toos public Weixin platform. Search for Fishman Toos verified number or urine 22. I want to ask him if he really has such a powerful bodyguard. Is he writing about real people and things? If he does, I'll send you for training." Damn, I still need training. Xiao Chen didn't expect Miss to take it seriously. However, if he really became powerful, would Miss let him pursue her? Xiao Chen felt a little strange just thinking about it. I hate fishmen too. Looking for trouble for no reason. Xiao Chen thought. Fortunately, in front of delicious food, Miss quickly forgot about Fishman Toos, School Beauty's personal expert, and began to eat with relish. The feeling of no one fighting with me is really great. Cheng Menjing saw that Xiao Chen didn't eat much, and she was very satisfied. Sweat. You can eat enough. I haven't eaten yet, and more than half of it is gone. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. Hey, what do you mean? Do you think I can eat? Cheng Menjing glared at Xiao Chen. It's your honor that I eat what you cook. Xiao Chen nodded. After eating, Miss went upstairs. Xiao Chen continued to practice in the room. Today was the last day of using this medicine. If he didn't break through, Xiao Chen still had to buy medicine tomorrow. This made him very distressed, although he already had millions of assets. Elder Heaven Ancestor, if this medicine doesn't work today, can it be used again tomorrow? Xiao Chen asked. Yes, but it won't have any effect. Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Isn't that the same as not saying anything? Xiao Chen was really speechless. That's the same as asking nonsense. Elder Heaven Ancestor also said. Xiao Chen brewed the medicine and sealed all the dregs. This was a holy medicine for martial artists to heal injuries. Maybe one day, he could sell it for a high price. However, what disappointed Xiao Chen was that after drinking the third pot of medicinal soup, although Xiao Chen's body was greasy and black from the training, he didn't level up and break through. After taking a bath, it was time to see if he could break through the barrier at night. If he couldn't, Xiao Chen could only buy more medicine tomorrow. In fact, Xiao Chen's current speed of leveling up was very amazing. Less than half a month after leaving home, Xiao Chen's strength was already comparable to that of a martial artist at the peak of stage 3 of internal force. In the wee hours of the morning, Xiao Chen stopped his cultivation and stopped the circulation of the mantra. Unfortunately, Xiao Chen did not break through. He felt that there was still a short distance to go before he could break through. It did not mean that he could break through immediately. He had not even touched the barrier yet. Phew! Xiao Chen sighed. The previous speed of leveling up was too fast, which caused Xiao Chen to be dissatisfied. In fact, if he thought about it carefully, he already had such strength, so what if he waited for a while? After cleaning up, Xiao Chen ran to the grocery store near the morning street. At the beginning of a new day, Xiao Chen and Tang Tang set up a breakfast stand, and the business soon opened. Now, Xiao Chen and Tang Tang's youtiao had become a famous snack in the neighborhood. It was reposted and recommended by many people who had bought it in their WeChat moments. Therefore, more and more people came because of its reputation. After eating it, they were all satisfied. Moreover, now these people had figured out the rules of Xiao Chen and Tang Tang's stand. They opened the stand in the early morning and closed the stand at about 7 o'clock. They didn't sell more than a moment, so if they wanted to eat, they had to do it early. Of course, they didn't know that Xiao Chen and Tang Tang were going to school. They thought they were very arrogant, selling for a few hours every day, and not waiting after the expiration. However, the more exaggerated the rumor was, the more people came to eat. People were like this. The things they rushed to buy were good things, and it didn't matter if they could always buy it. Lin was still sent by her mother to buy fried dough sticks. Lin was a little depressed. She clearly told her mother that she didn't want to take advantage of others, but her mother still asked her to take advantage of others. What should she say? After waiting for a while, Xiao Chen went to the toilet. Xiao Chen's soup needed to go to the toilet 4 to 5 times a day, and it seemed that he was excreting the waste absorbed in his body. Lin took the opportunity to walk over. Although there were still customers on Tang Tang's side, she saw Lin at a glance. She didn't wait for Lin to speak, but gave her a bowl of soy milk, which was more than 2 servings, and filled it with fried dough sticks, which was more than 20 yuan, and handed it to her. Lin didn't expect that Tang Tang would give her these things before she opened her mouth, which made her very moved. She gave the money and said, "Sister, my family has a noodle stand over there, Lin's Noodle. You go there, and I will give you a discount." "Okay, take care of each other." Tang Tang took the money and smiled. Chapter 113. Originally, some customers were puzzled when they saw that Lin had spent 15 yuan to buy so many things, but they understood after listening to her. It turned out that they were all in the same market, so there was no way to do it. After Lin left, Xiao Chen came back soon. He was busy for a while before he stopped. Youtiao, honey fruit, sesame balls, and fried dough twists were almost enough to sell for today. He was relieved and began to help Tang Tang sell the goods. "By the way, Xiao Chen, do you want to eat something?" Tang Tang saw that Xiao Chen was idle, so she said to him. "I don't want to eat. Let's talk about it after the stall is closed." Xiao Chen shook his head. "I can sell it by myself. It's useless for you to be here." Tang Tang suddenly thought of something and said, "Yes, it's the little girl who often buys youtiao and soy milk at our house. She invited us to her house to eat noodles. Why don't you go? I give her a discount every day." The little girl is too embarrassed. She asked us to go to her house and give us a discount. I'm afraid that if we don't go, she will be embarrassed to come next time. Oh. Listening to Tang Tang's words, Xiaofan nodded and said, okay, then I'll go and eat a bowl. What's the name? Since Tang Tang said so, Xiaofan also planned to eat a bowl. Anyway, he ate the leftover youtiao every morning. It was good to change his taste occasionally. He hadn't eaten noodles yet, and he wanted to try what it tasted like. It's inside, Lin's noodles. Tang Tang said, by the way, it's opened by a junior sister's family in number 1 middle school. Weren't you in number 1 middle school before? Maybe you can know her. Me? Okay. Xiaofan couldn't help but smile bitterly. How could I know her? It's more like others know me. However, now that I look so down and out, it's estimated that few people will come out, unless it's someone familiar. Xiaofan casually took out 10 yuan from the money box and walked towards the direction of the morning market. The morning market street was very long. Xiaofan was looking for Lin's noodles as he looked around to see what was being sold. Last time when he bought the mask and SIM card, he was in too much of a hurry, so he didn't have time to take a good look. While Xiaofan was searching, he suddenly saw a group of onlookers not far in front of him. He didn't know what was going on, but Xiaofan initially didn't think much of it because there were also some performers in the morning market, so it was normal for people to surround them. However, Xiaofan's eyes were sharp, and when he saw the small colored flag hanging in the middle of the square with the words, Lin Ji's board written on it, Xiaofan knew that this was the place he was looking for. What's going on here? If it were any other place, Xiaofan would be too lazy to be a busybody, but today he came to Lin Ji's board, so Xiaofan quickly walked over and wanted to see what was going on. However, when Xiaofan approached, he was suddenly stunned. Because, surrounded by the crowd, in front of Lin Ji's stall, he unexpectedly saw 2 familiar people. One of them was actually Lin from number 1 middle school. Xiaofan never thought that he could meet her here. Lin Ji's board, could it be Lin's family? Xiaofan used to know that Lin's family wasn't rich, and her parents were running a small business, but he didn't care about the specifics. Now it seemed that she was selling board noodles in the morning market street. However, why would Lin come to my own breakfast stall to buy breakfast? Moreover, why wasn't I here every time she came to buy? That's not right. The first time she came, I was here, but I didn't turn around to look. Did Lin see me? Xiaofan wasn't sure. After all, things were too coincidental. However, now that he saw that this was Lin's stall, Xiaofan wasn't in a hurry to go forward. He wanted to see what was going on first. After all, if Xiaofan went forward at this time, it would definitely be very awkward. There was another familiar person in the scene. It was the red-haired guy who said he had a Porsche at the entrance of the cafe that day. Fake money? How could I spend fake money? Look at how rich I am. This leather jacket is a nouveau riche gold. This gold chain is very thick. This car key is a Porsche. These big leather boots are made of American crocodile skin. This phone is an Apple 8th generation. How could I spend fake money? The red-haired guy patted his clothes angrily and shouted at Lin. Everyone, be the judge. Who am I? I'm a nouveau riche. Do you think I lack money? If I don't lack money, why would I spend fake money? Are you kidding me? Are you trying to blackmail me? Little girl, don't speak without thinking. Even if you're trying to blackmail someone, you shouldn't have found a good target. Hurry up and give me the change. Don't waste my time. You just gave me money. I didn't even take it away, and I found out it was fake. How am I blackmailing you? Lin was about to cry. She looked at the red-haired guy and said weakly. That's right. My daughter hasn't left yet. How can I change your money into fake money? It's clearly your own. Mother Lin put her hands on her waist and said unhappily, "Let me tell you, don't think that my family is easy to bully." Shouting? Is this a mother-daughter battle together? Was that cripple going to come along as well? Everyone, look. Are you bullying me with numbers? The red-haired guy shouted. What's going on? Xiaofan had seen most of it, but he didn't understand the cause. Hence, he turned around and asked an old man beside him. "Sai, I met a local ruffian. He spends fake money in such a justified manner." The old man said indignantly, "I know this red-haired guy. He always spends fake money in the morning market. Sometimes he gets caught, and sometimes he doesn't. Even when he gets caught, he acts righteously. Many stall owners choose to keep the peace. If you insist on going against him, he will definitely find a bunch of ruffians to deal with you the next day. Then, is there no one to testify?" Xiaofan was slightly stunned. "Testify? We are already in our 70s or 80s. If those ruffians secretly take revenge on us, we might lose our lives. Who dares to provoke them? They are all gangsters." The old man shook his head helplessly. Xiaofan looked at the other people present. Indeed, many of them showed angry expressions, but they didn't dare to say anything. Obviously, this red-haired guy was a bully of this generation. This kind of people actually existed in many markets. Some swindled people, and some blatantly collected protection fees. These poor people had no choice but to be forced by violence. They could only silently endure it. At this time, a stall owner who was familiar with them came over and pulled Ker Lin's mother. He whispered, "Sister-in-law Lin, please keep the peace. We can't afford to offend these ruffians." Although Mother Lin was shrewish, she wasn't an idiot. When she saw Redhead's overbearing attitude, she recalled the rumor that a few hawkers in the morning market were beaten to a pulp by the delinquents and almost couldn't continue their business anymore. However, $100 might not be much to other families, but to Lin Kuer's family, it was a lot. They had worked hard for the entire morning, and could only earn around $200. Excluding the money used to buy medicine for Lin Dongliang, there was basically nothing left. AI. Mother Lin looked at the red-haired guy's fierce eyes and sighed. At this time, Lin Dongliang had already cooked a bowl of noodles and was about to serve it to the red-haired guy. When Ker Lin didn't accept the money, he started making the noodles after the red-haired guy ordered them. Xiaofan took a deep breath and walked over. Even if this person wasn't Ker Lin, Xiaofan wouldn't just stand by and watch. Although he was a playboy on the surface, he was a very compassionate person. Now that the person being bullied was Ker Lin, Xiaofan couldn't bear it anymore. It wasn't that Xiaofan liked Ker Lin a lot, but Ker Lin's soft and weak appearance always made Xiaofan want to protect her. The first time he helped her, it was also because of Xiaofan's sympathy for her. Of course, he still had a good impression of her. Who didn't like beautiful women? Moreover, she was a beauty at the school level. "You said that this money isn't yours?" Xiaofan walked over and stared coldly at the red-haired guy. "Damn it, who are you? Brat, don't meddle in other people's business and get yourself into trouble." The red-haired guy saw that Mother Lin was about to give in, but he didn't expect that someone would come out of nowhere. This made him very angry, and he glared at Xiaofan with a murderous look. Ker Lin looked at the sudden appearance of Xiaofan. Her eyes widened and she covered her mouth. She didn't expect that Xiaofan would actually come and help her. It was just like when she was bullied by the school bully. "Let me ask you, is this money yours?" In Xiaofan's eyes, a red-haired guy was nothing. Even the underworld's young master, Lu Jinming, was taught a lesson by him, let alone a hooligan. "What does it have to do with you?" "Of course it's not mine." The red-haired guy saw that Xiaofan's physique wasn't weak, and he was alone, so he didn't dare to offend Xiaofan too much. He just had to bite the bullet and not admit it. "What if I say it's yours?" Xiaofan asked indifferently. "What proof do you have?" The red-haired guy frowned. I'm not the police, so what proof do I need? If I say it's yours, then it's yours. Xiaofan looked at the red-haired guy with a smile that wasn't a smile. If one were to talk about being unreasonable, then Xiaofan was the ancestor of being unreasonable in the past. Damn it, are you crazy? The red-haired guy didn't expect that someone would suddenly appear to oppose him, and it made him very angry. What does it have to do with you? I'll give you a chance to exchange it for real money. Xiaofan's tone was still very indifferent. You're crazy. The moment the red-haired guy said these 3 words, he suddenly exclaimed because he saw a bowl of noodles suddenly appear on his head. However, before he could stop his exclamation, he heard a "pu" sound. The bowl of noodles was directly placed on Redhead's head, covering his red hair directly. Because the bowl of noodles was made of melamine, it was slightly tough, and the size of the bowl was about the same as the red-haired guy's head. Plus, Xiaofan's speed was fast, so the bowl directly covered the red-haired guy's head. The noodles and soup inside didn't spill out. Chapter 114. Ouch! The red-haired guy screamed in agony. The scalding noodles burned his scalp. He wanted to pull the bowl out, but the bowl was right on top of his head. He couldn't pull it out at all. The red-haired guy jumped back and forth on the ground. Fortunately, the soup wasn't boiling. After screaming for a while, the red-haired guy got used to it. He looked at Xiaofan with resentment and wanted to remember Xiaofan's appearance. Then, he turned around and wanted to leave quickly. However, before he could leave, he was pulled back by Xiaofan. What are you doing? You want to leave just like that? Xiaofan grabbed the red-haired guy's collar and pressed him onto the stool again. Everyone present was dumbfounded. They didn't expect Xiaofan to be so ruthless. Not only that, but he also wanted to pull the red-haired guy back to teach him a lesson. You. What else do you want? The red-haired guy struggled twice, but he didn't expect Xiaofan to be so strong. This time, he suddenly lost his confidence. The bad were afraid of the ruthless, and Xiaofan was ruthless. Don't you want to eat noodles? Are you leaving now? Xiaofan said faintly, if you don't want to eat, then leave. Are you messing with me? Looking at Xiaofan's cold gaze, the red-haired guy's heart was filled with resentment, but he still said carefully, Of course, I want to eat. He was afraid that if he refused, Xiaofan would punish him again. Uncle Lin, prepare a bowl of noodles for him. Xiaofan said to Lin Dongliang. Okay. Lin Dongliang was a little dumbfounded. He didn't know where Xiaofan came from, but he only knew that Xiaofan was more ruthless than the red-haired guy. He couldn't afford to offend him, so he quickly went to cook the noodles. Xiaofan. Forget it. Forget it. Lin didn't expect Xiaofan to stand up for her. If it was before, it would be fine if Xiaofan was the young master of the Xiao family. As long as these punks heard of Xiaofan's background, they would be scared witless. But now, wasn't he afraid of revenge? Forget it? Bullying people is my hobby. How can I forget it? Xiaofan said indifferently. At this time, Lin Dongliang just finished cooking the noodles and brought it over, but Xiaofan took it. Then, he took the ladle from the chili bucket and scooped 3 spoonfuls of chili into the noodles. Then, he placed it in front of the red-haired guy and said, "Eat it." The red-haired guy thought that eating a bowl of noodles would be enough. He didn't expect Xiaofan to add so much chili. How could he eat it? Usually, people who could eat spicy food would only add a small spoonful of chili. Xiaofan added 3 spoonfuls. Wasn't it so spicy that smoke was coming out? What? Didn't you want to eat noodles? Not eating anymore? Are you kidding me? I think you are asking for a beating. As Xiaofan said this, he didn't hold back and directly slapped the bowl on the red-haired guy's head. It almost gave the red-haired guy a concussion. Eat. I will eat now. The red-haired guy said with a bitter face. He could see that the person in front of him didn't consider the consequences. He would hit the most uncomfortable way. Without a choice, the red-haired guy could only pick up the chopsticks and close his eyes to eat the spicy noodles. He only took a bite and was panting from the spiciness. However, when he saw Xiao Chen's indifferent gaze, the red-haired guy could only continue eating. When he finally finished the noodles, the red-haired guy raised his head and said carefully, "Now, is it okay? Why aren't you drinking the soup?" Xiao Chen frowned. "Why? You think it's not good? Do you want me to help you?" As he said this, Xiao Chen was about to pick up the soup bowl. I will drink." The red-haired guy was shocked. He was afraid that Xiao Chen would smash the bowl on his face. If the chili got into his eyes, he wouldn't be able to live. "Then hurry up. Don't waste time," Xiao Chen said impatiently. The red-haired guy looked at the red bowl of chili soup in front of him with tears in his eyes. He clenched his teeth, picked it up, and gulped it down. However, he only drank half of it and couldn't drink anymore. Just as he was about to put it down, he didn't expect a big hand to reach over and press on the bottom of the bowl. The other hand directly pinched his cheek. The remaining half of the chili soup, along with the chili inside, was poured into the red-haired guy's throat. Cough cough cough, cough 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 cough. When Xiao Chen released his hand, the red-haired guy's face turned red. Coupled with the big green bowl on his head looked like a huge chili pepper. The overbearing spiciness made him cough violently. He couldn't even breathe. He coughed on the ground for a long time and coughed out a pile of red phlegm. It was unknown whether it was the chili soup or his throat that was bleeding from the spiciness. However, even so, the surrounding audience didn't sympathize with the red-haired guy. This matter was originally the red-haired guy's fault. These people didn't dare to say anything before, but now that someone came out to uphold justice, they were naturally happy to see it. I can go now," the red-haired guy said intermittently while gasping for breath. However, he was secretly determined to teach this young man in front of him a lesson. He wanted to remember Xiao Chen's appearance. "You can leave after paying for the noodles," Xiao Chen said. "Okay." The red-haired guy didn't argue this time. He opened his wallet, took out 10 yuan, and handed it to Xiao Chen. "It's not enough," Xiao Chen said. "Isn't a bowl of noodles 8 yuan? The red-haired guy's face stiffened. "He can't be trying to extort me, right? Isn't the bowl on your head noodles?" Xiao Chen asked. "Okay." The red-haired guy took out another 10 yuan and handed it to Xiao Chen. "There's something extra for the second bowl. Don't you know?" Xiao Chen snorted coldly. "Something extra?" The red-haired guy was stunned. "I added 3 spoonfuls of chili, 10 yuan per spoon," Xiao Chen said. The red-haired guy almost cried. "Damn, I'm dying from the spiciness, and you still want my chili money?" However, looking at Xiao Chen's expression, if he didn't pay, it wouldn't be as simple as 3 spoonfuls of chili. The red-haired guy handed Xiao Chen another 30 yuan and asked with a bitter face, "Is it okay now?" "Okay." "The takeout on your head came with a bowl. Don't you need to pay a deposit? If you run away, who do I care about?" Xiao Chen pointed at the bowl of noodles on the red-haired guy's head. The red-haired guy was about to collapse. "Bro, just tell me how much you want, give me another 50 yuan. Return the bowl to me tomorrow, and I'll return it to you," Xiao Chen said. "Okay." The red-haired guy thought, "Who knows where you will go tomorrow? Where can I find you to return the bowl? Moreover, if I find you, I'll kill you and return the bowl. The red-haired guy, will definitely take revenge." The red-haired guy took out another 50 yuan and handed it to Xiao Chen. Then, he didn't wait for Xiao Chen to speak and left. Even though Xiaofan tortured the red-haired guy to such a sorry state, when the red-haired guy left, the surrounding crowd still made way for him. Xiaofan wasn't afraid of the red-haired guy, but they couldn't afford to offend him. The red-haired guy felt wronged and angry at the same time. Originally, he was going to scam money, but who knew that such a ruthless person would appear? He was simply a maniac who wasn't threatened by him. How unlucky. He wanted to find a public toilet and remove the bowl on his head. Xiaofan. Thank you. Kerlin saw the red-haired guy leave and let out a sigh of relief. However, she was still worried about Xiaofan. She was afraid that the red-haired guy would find someone to take revenge on him. You. Hurry up and leave. What if he comes back? When Mother Lin heard Kerlin's words, she knew that her daughter knew the person in front of her. However, looking at the way Xiaofan dressed, he didn't look like a rich person. This brat must have taken a fancy to her daughter's beauty and came to court her. However, Mother Lin didn't like Xiaofan. She was hoping that her beautiful daughter could find a rich husband and change her life. If she found an ordinary person, then wouldn't she have to sell breakfast in the future? Since that was the case, Mother Lin snorted coldly. Why did you let him leave? He beat up that little hooligan. What if that little hooligan comes back? How are we going to deal with him? Mom. Lin Kurer didn't expect that not only did her mother not thank her, but she also criticized Xiaofan. She immediately became a little unhappy. He's my classmate and he's standing up for our family. How could you say that? Hearing that it was her daughter's classmate, Mother Lin knew that she couldn't go overboard. Moreover, she really had to thank Xiaofan for today's matter. Therefore, she said indifferently, "Young man, thank you. However, you are feeling good now. If that person comes back, it's fine. I'm from the youtiao stall over there. He came to find me. Just let him go." Xiaofan smiled and didn't argue with Mother Lin for Kerlin's sake. In fact, he also understood that these ordinary citizens who did small business might not be grateful to you if you helped them because they were afraid of being retaliated. This was also the reason why many people didn't dare to call the police when they were bullied. They were afraid that the hooligans would come back for revenge. Ah. You're the youtiao seller. Mother Lin was a little embarrassed this time. She took advantage of him for 2 days, and he still came to help her. They were all in the same market and often met. Auntie's words just now were a little unpleasant, but you should also understand. Auntie is afraid that if you leave, those people will take revenge on Auntie. I understand. Xiaofan nodded and said, "If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. This is the money that Redhead gave me." With that said, Xiaofan put the 100 yuan that Redhead gave on the table. He nodded to Kerlin and quickly left. Kerlin opened her mouth and wanted to say something, but Xiaofan had already walked far away. In her heart, she suddenly felt a little conflicted. She had been conflicted. If Xiaofan asked her why she went to buy youtiao, how should she answer? If Xiaofan mentioned that she said that he could pursue her, how should she respond? However, Xiaofan didn't even ask and just left. Kerlin's heart was indescribably disappointed. Looking at Xiaofan's back, she suddenly felt that Xiaofan had really changed. He was no longer the Xiaofan in her memory. This Xiaofan suddenly made her feel a little unfamiliar. Chapter 115. Mother Lin put away the 100 yuan on the table and looked at Kerlin, who was in a daze. She immediately scolded, "Stupid girl, are you interested in him?" No. No. Kerlin's face turned red and she quickly shook her head. I'm telling you, absolutely not. I definitely won't agree to this kind of boy who only has a bit of brute force and no money. You better give up on this idea as soon as possible. Mother Lin glared at Kerlin and warned. Oh. Kerlin nodded woodenly and started to pack up. Redhead entered a public restroom and spent a lot of effort to remove the noodle bowl from his head. Then, he used the tap water to wash away the noodle soup on his head. As for this broken bowl, Redhead didn't even think about returning it. Xiaofan was obviously cheating him, so how could he refund the deposit? Moreover, even if he found Xiaofan, it wouldn't be as simple as returning the bowl. He would kill him. Not to mention that he didn't spend the fake money, he even lost 100 yuan in real money. Redhead was very depressed. After leaving the public restroom, he once again looked for his next target. A thief never leaves empty-handed. As a swindler, he had the same logic. If he went back without making a profit, he would be very unhappy. Of course, if he wanted to make a move again, he couldn't choose a place that was too close to the previous one. After such a big incident, the small merchants and peddlers nearby also came to watch the show. If he went to swindle them again, it wouldn't be easy for him to succeed. Everyone was on guard against him, so who could be swindled? He prepared to find a place further away to make his move. After walking for a distance, he suddenly found a stall selling youtiao. There were many people here, and there was an endless stream of people eating. Moreover, there was only one person there. According to Redhead's past experience, this was the best place to make a move. Because in these kinds of popular stalls, the stall owner didn't have time to carefully distinguish the authenticity of the money, so he had the opportunity to take advantage of it. After choosing his target, Redhead pretended as if nothing had happened and went to the youtiao stall. He stood in the middle of the queue, and this youtiao stall was the one that Xiaofan was at. Xiaofan went to eat noodles, leaving Tang Tang alone. When it was Redhair's turn, he handed Tang Tang 100 yuan. Tang Tang wanted to check if the money was real, but she was interrupted by Redhair. Which is better, tofu pudding or soybean milk? They're all delicious. The tofu pudding is new in the last 2 days. It's also good. Tang Tang was interrupted by him and forgot to check the authenticity of the money. Oh, give me 5 yuan worth of fried dough sticks and a bowl of tofu pudding. I'll eat here. Redhair said, just give me change later. Give me food first, I'm starving to death. Okay, wait a moment. Tang Tang threw the money into the money box and prepared to weigh the fried dough sticks for Redhair. After all, he was the only one working here, and it was easy for him to forget some things. Seeing Tang Tang put away the money, Redhair breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. It went well this time. However, as he was feeling proud, he suddenly felt someone patting his shoulder from behind. Redhair was stunned and turned around. He almost peed his pants. Are you looking for me to return the bowl? Xiaofan looked at Redhair and asked faintly. Ugh. Why are you here? Redhair didn't expect Xiaofan to follow him here. He was really haunting him. This is my stall. Why can't I be here? Xiaofan didn't hide it. He said this because he meant that if Redhair wasn't convinced in the future, he could come here to look for him. He didn't have to look for Kerlin. This is your stall. Redhair almost knelt down. My luck is so good that it came to me on its own initiative. I was almost beaten to death by Xiaofan when I lied to others. If I lied to Xiaofan, wouldn't I be killed? A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. Redhair turned around and wanted to leave. Your fried dough sticks. Tang Tang finished weighing the fried dough sticks. She looked up and saw that Xiaofan was back, and that Redhair was about to leave. She was a little confused. Are you going to have fried dough sticks? I don't want them. Redhair said subconsciously. You don't want them? Are you here to fool around with me? You want them and you don't want them anymore? Xiaofan grabbed Redhair's hair and pulled him back. At this time, some customers came over from the crowd. They also recognized Redhair and Xiaofan and began to discuss. Those who didn't know and thought that Xiaofan was bullying customers knew the inside story now, so no one sympathized with Red Hair. I want them. Red Hair grimaced in pain. He turned around and was afraid that Xiaochen would flip out, so he quickly said to Tang Tang, I didn't pay just now, right? I'll settle the bill after we finish eating. You didn't pay? Tang Tang was slightly stunned. You did. Didn't you pay 100 yuan? You didn't pay. Red Hair said firmly. Then, this is. Tang Tang said. She picked up the 100 yuan on the top of the money box. She was about to say something, but when she took a closer look, she found the problem. The banknote was fake. Fake money? That's not mine. I haven't paid yet. Red Hair subconsciously looked at Xiaochen. Seeing that Xiaochen didn't have the intention to beat him, he quickly denied it. At this time, the onlookers understood that Red Hair came to spend fake money. He was seen through, so he didn't dare to admit it. Okay, hurry up and eat. Xiaochen pushed Red Hair to the table and placed the fried dough sticks in front of him. Then he asked Tang Tang, what else does he want? A bowl of tofu pudding, Tang Tang said. I'll get it for him. You continue to serve the others. As Xiaochen said this, he went to get a bowl of tofu pudding for Red Hair, but he directly poured half a can of chili powder into it. Then, he directly put it in front of Red Hair. I saw that you like to eat chili, so I specially made a bowl of added ingredients for you. You don't have to thank me. Eat it. Eat more? Red Hair almost cried. Those chili peppers had almost killed him. If he were to eat these, he would have a stomach bleed. However, he couldn't not eat it. It would be even more uncomfortable if Xiaochen forced it into his mouth. Red Hair had no choice but to pinch his nose and eat it. His original intention was to pretend to eat a few bites and then leave, but now he had no choice but to eat seriously. However, he just ate a bowl of noodles before. How could he have such a big appetite? Now, he was forcing it into his mouth. You seem to have a big appetite. I can give you another bowl of soy milk for free. As Xiaochen said this, he filled another bowl of soy milk for Red Hair and put it aside. Then, he added 2 spoonfuls of chili oil. Red Hair looked at such a big bowl of red soy milk and almost vomited. If I pour it into my mouth, will it come back out directly from my throat? Originally, Red Hair wanted to sneak away after eating half, but who would have thought that when he looked up, he could see Xiaochen's smiling devil's face. So, he could only lower his head and force himself to pour it into his mouth. When he finally finished eating, Red Hair forced himself not to vomit. He was afraid that if he vomited, Xiaochen would find an excuse to mess with him again. He could only cover his mouth and take out 100 yuan from his wallet. He put it on the table and turned to leave. However, he was pulled back by Xiaochen before he could take 2 steps. Big brother. Is there anything else? Red Hair raised his head, afraid that he would vomit on Xiaochen. Your change. Xiaochen said. No. No need. Goodbye. Red Hair turned around and left. Xiaochen saw that Red Hair was on the verge of vomiting. He was afraid that Red Hair would vomit here, so he didn't make it difficult for him. Sure enough, Red Hair didn't walk far before he squatted on the side of the road and vomited. Red and white things spurted out. One was because of the spiciness, and the other was because he ate too much, so it was overflowing. You who sold Youtiao, just you wait. Wah, if I don't mess with you, I won't be Red Hair. Red Hair secretly swore in his heart while vomiting. After Red Hair left, Tang Tang looked at Xiaochen strangely. How do you know him? How do you know that he spent fake money? I was almost fooled by him. I was going to eat noodles just now, and I saw him using fake money to cheat people. Xiaochen said as he began to pack up. It was almost time to go to school. Is he the one who cheated the noodles? Tang Tang didn't expect it to be so coincidental. That's the one. Xiaochen nodded. That Lin's noodles was opened by my former classmate, Lin. I used to pursue her, and it made me quite embarrassed. No way. I was wondering why she didn't see you even once after coming here several times. Is she deliberately avoiding you? Tang Tang was a little surprised. You pursued her? But she is indeed very beautiful, and she is not weaker than your goddess, but the difference between your backgrounds. Actually, it's just a joke. Xiaochen said that he saved Lin once, and then he was afraid that others would harass her, so he deliberately said that he wanted to pursue her. It turns out to be like this. In that case, Lin is grateful to you. I know. She must have seen you selling youtiao here, and then she thought that you were living in poverty. She wanted to buy some to help you the day before yesterday, but she didn't expect our youtiao to be so delicious. After she went back, her mother asked her to continue to buy more. Tang Tang suddenly thought of the key. The day before yesterday, she thought our youtiao couldn't be sold, so we gave her more. She didn't feel anything, but it was different yesterday and today, I say, but after such an incident, she probably won't come again. Xiaochen shook his head. Although Xiaochen still had a trace of affection for Lin in his heart, it was just appreciation for a beauty. Now his life was gradually drifting away from her, and there would be no more intersection. Why? Xiaochen, listening to your tone, you sound a little disappointed. Tang Tang teased. Chapter 116. I don't think so. If I were the old Xiaochen, it would be possible for me to pursue her. But now, I am still living under someone else's roof. If I get a girlfriend, where will I live? Xiaochen shrugged and said. Ah, I say, young Master Xiao, your thoughts are not pure. Do you want to live with a girlfriend? Tang Tang joked after listening. Xiaochen's face suddenly turned red. He was just influenced by others and thought that he should live with a girlfriend. But in fact, he was still a virgin. I just said it casually. Would you believe it if I said that I have never had a girlfriend before? Who would believe it? I have heard of your reputation from far away, Xiaochen. Tang Tang curled her lips. Obviously, she did not believe Xiaochen's words. Xiaochen was a little speechless. Was his image that bad before? It seemed that his disguise was quite successful. But, why did someone still target him after he succeeded? Lu Zhenming was not a big deal in Xiaochen's eyes. What troubled Xiaochen most was that invisible big hand. Was it a person, a group of people, or an organization? Was it a coincidence that his father disappeared, or was there something related to it? As soon as he arrived at the school, Xiaochen received a text message from Miss Jean. Jing Xian and Chen Jinpeng will come to ask me and Beibei to go out to play tonight. Will you come? Xiaochen was slightly stunned. Chen Jinpeng had just been tricked. Did he come to ask for trouble again? However, it did not matter whether he went or not. Chen Jinpeng could not do anything to Miss Jean and Beibei. Instead, Xiaochen was very worried about Chen Jinpeng's safety. I won't go. Xiaochen replied. He planned to go to the pharmacy to buy medicine tonight. Soon, Miss Jin's text message came again. Beibei said that he wants you to go back with him tonight. His grandpa is looking for you. Old Master Jean is looking for me. Xiaochen suddenly remembered that he had promised Old Master Jean to treat him. He was so busy at home that he forgot about it. However, since he had promised, he had to do it. So, he replied, okay, but I have to go home to get some medicine first. As soon as Xiaochen pressed the send button, his phone rang. He glanced at the caller ID and found it was Chen Jinpeng. It surprised Xiaochen a little, but he still picked up the phone. Little brother, what do you want to talk to your boss? Hee, here's the thing. My new boss, Chao Yuliang, is going to invite you, my old boss, to dinner tonight. Jingxian is going too. She also invited Cheng Menjing and Jean Beibei. Do you want to come with us? Chout. Chout. Liang? Does this guy feel that he has lost his face in front of Shen Jingxian after being tricked by Jean Beibei last time? So, he invites Chao Yuliang to humiliate me tonight. However, Xiao Chen had planned to go. Now that Chen Jinpeng invited him, he was not in a hurry to agree. Instead, he said, Pengzi, I have to make money tonight. You know, I'm very short of money now. Cheng Menjing doesn't pay me. I have to make money by myself. I plan to go to the night market tonight. Chen Jinpeng didn't expect that Xiao Chen would say so. He had given Xiao Chen enough face on the phone before. According to Xiao Chen's arrogant character, he would definitely agree. Unexpectedly, he wanted to set up a stall. It seemed that time was a butcher's knife. Even the most awesome child had to lower his head in the face of poverty. If he had seen Xiao Chen lower his head in the past, he would have been very happy. But today, it was Chao Yuliang who ordered him to invite Xiao Chen. If he couldn't accomplish the task, how could he explain it to Chao Yuliang? Last time, when Chen Jinpeng lost his car and went back in Chao Yuliang's car, they talked about Xiao Chen on the way back. When they mentioned that Xiao Chen came to dinner with Cheng Menjing, Chen Jinpeng said that Xiao Chen was living in his own fantasy and was fooled by Jean Beibei. Chao Yuliang didn't take it seriously. However, after Chao Yuliang went back, he felt that something was wrong the more he thought about it. Jean Beibei was famous for being mean to the childs of the aristocratic families. How could she be in the mood to fool around with Xiao Chen? If she were to fool around with Xiao Chen, she would have killed Xiao Chen a long time ago. Just like Chen Jinpeng, he lost his car after one dinner, but Xiao Chen was still intact. Of course, Chao Yuliang couldn't rule out the possibility that Jean Beibei wanted to keep Xiao Chen around for fun. However, Chao Yuliang just couldn't be reassured. He wanted to personally invite Xiao Chen and Jean Beibei out to take a look. He wanted to see if Jean Beibei was really fooling around with Xiao Chen or if there was something fishy going on between the two of them. Pengzi, if there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. I just finished the morning market and have to go to class. Xiao Chen said impatiently. Wait. How could Chen Jinpeng let Xiao Chen hang up? He said hurriedly, Xiao Chen, how much money can you make in the night market? Oh, when it's good, it should be around 100,000 or 80,000 yuan, right? Xiao Chen said, 100,000 or 80,000 yuan. Chen Jinpeng was stunned. How could he make so much money? But then he realized that Xiao Chen wanted to trick him. Damn it. This guy has been with Jean Beibei for a long time. Although he didn't learn anything else, he was quite good at tricking people. Xiao Chen, 80,000 or 80,000 yuan in the night market, that's not impossible. For example, the youtiao I made was delicious, and a rich person ate it. It's very possible that he would tip me 100 or 80,000. Xiao Chen said seriously. Chen Jinpeng's mouth twitched. Tipped you? Do you want me to vote for you once more? Chen Jinpeng had been reading a novel called Campus Belle's Bodyguard these days, so he knew about tipping and monthly tickets. But he couldn't say it. If he said it, Xiao Chen would be angry and stop coming, and he would be screwed. He had no choice but to say, Xiao Chen, why don't you come? I'll give you 100,000 yuan as a gift from me. Oh. But you know, if I don't open the stall today, those customers can't find me, and they won't come next time. Closing the stall will hurt the customers. Xiao Chen said in a bitter tone. How about 150,000 yuan? Chen Jinpeng curled his lips and thought, now Xiao Chen is so down and out. 150,000 yuan is not a small amount, but it's nothing for Xiao Chen in the past. Okay. I'll do you a favor. I'll ask Tang Tang to open the stall, and I'll earn some appearance fees. Xiao Chen said reluctantly. Damn it! If Tang Tang goes to open the stall, how can you hurt the customers? Appearance fees? Do you think you're a big star? But since Xiao Chen agreed to come, Chen Jinpeng didn't want to make trouble, so he just said, see you tonight. Will you come with Cheng Menjing and the others? I'll see, Xiao Chen said. Okay. Xiao Chen, I won't bother you. With that, Chen Jinpeng hung up the phone, cursed Xiao Chen's treachery and greed, and hurried to report to Chao Yuliang. The day passed quickly. When school was over, Xiao Chen and Jean Bebe borrowed a car and went home to get the medicine. In fact, they went to the pharmacy to buy some medicinal materials on the way. Anyway, they had to wait for Shen Jingxian and the others at the school gate for a while, so they were not in a hurry. Xiao Chen parked the car in front of the pharmacy and walked into the pharmacy. Hong Yan looked up and saw Xiao Chen, wrinkling her nose at him. Obviously, she was on guard against Xiao Chen, who read romance novels, Jean Ping Mei. Seeing Hong Yan, Xiao Chen didn't have the enthusiasm in the past, and he didn't know what he did to provoke her, but he still said politely, I'm here to buy medicine. Is the old grandpa here? Oh, grandpa, someone is looking for me. Hong Yan picked up the book and continued to read, ignoring Xiao Chen. Grandpa Chen came out from the back. Seeing Xiao Chen, he nodded to him. He was used to the frequency of Xiao Chen's visit every 2 or 3 days. What medicine do you want this time? The same medicine as last time, Xiao Chen said. The same medicine as last time, but this time, I can't sell it at the same price. It's too cheap, and I can't explain it to the boss at the headquarters. Grandpa Chen said, this time, I can only give you a 50% discount, and charge you 500,000 yuan. What? 500,000 yuan? Xiao Chen was shocked. He thought that the 1.9 million yuan he had could support him for a long time. Who would have thought that a medicine with a 50% discount would cost 500,000 yuan? Next time, I probably won't even have a 50% discount, right? Why is it so expensive? It can't be that because I have become a regular customer, you want to slander me, right? Although Xiao Chen felt that this old grandpa looked kind, and he shouldn't be that kind of person, but as the saying goes, you can't judge a book by its cover. However, he had taken care of me many times before. Xiao Chen couldn't not buy it. Even if he wanted to go to other stores to inquire about the price, it was a matter for the future. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen gritted his teeth and took out his bank card. He said to Grandpa Chen, okay, thank you, Grandpa Chen. I will pay by card. Yen, you help him to pay by card. I will get the medicine for him. Grandpa Chen nodded and said. Oh. After Hong Yan heard it, she put down the book. She found the POS machine reluctantly and handed it to Xiao Chen. She didn't forget to glare at him. Swipe it. I say. Sister Yen, right? How did I offend you? Xiao Chen swiped the card and finally couldn't help but ask. Who asked you to let me read those dirty books? Hong Yan took back the POS machine and took out the receipt for Xiao Chen to sign. Xiao Chen was stunned. Then he remembered that Hong Yan mentioned Jean Ping Mei, which made him a little speechless. This chick's thoughts are complicated. She treats romance novels as Jean Ping Mei, and she still blames me? When Grandpa Chen heard Hong Yan's words, he couldn't help but laugh. He handed the medicine to Xiao Chen and said, young man, it's done. Here you go. Thank you, old grandpa. Then, I will leave. Xiao Chen looked at Hong Yan's angry look. He really didn't know how to explain. After leaving the pharmacy, Xiao Chen went straight to the villa. When he returned home, he took some of the previous medicine dregs and put the newly bought medicine into the electric clay pot. After setting the time, he hurriedly left the villa. Chapter 117. However, on the way back to school, Xiaochen found another pharmacy and planned to inquire about the price. This store also sold all kinds of medicinal materials. Xiaochen handed the prescription to an old shopkeeper and asked, "Excuse me, do you have all these medicinal materials? Let me take a look." The old man took Xiaochen's prescription, picked up his reading glasses, and looked at it carefully. But after reading it, he shook his head and said, "Who gave you this prescription? I know most of the herbs listed, but there are a few that I've never heard of before. Is there a mistake, or is there another name for them? What medicinal materials?" Xiaochen asked quickly. "This is it. Bitter fruit, red sweet flower, water glossy Ganoderma. I have sold medicine for so many years, but I have never heard of these. Could it be that it was prescribed by a wandering doctor?" The old man looked at Xiaochen suspiciously. "Moreover, the other medicinal materials are also great tonics. They are priceless. At your age, you don't have any diseases or disasters. Why do you want to eat these things?" Xiaochen sighed in his heart. "I actually don't have them. It seems that the pharmacy I went to isn't an ordinary pharmacy. I didn't expect that I would find the right place. If I went to other pharmacies, I really couldn't buy these things." Looking at the old man's resolute tone, it didn't seem like he was lying. Moreover, there was no need for him to lie. So, Xiaochen continued to ask, "How much do the other medicinal materials cost? I don't have many of the other medicinal materials in stock. Moreover, with your quantity, these medicinal materials cost at least 300,000 yuan. Young man, did you get cheated?" The old man frowned and said, "Listen to me. You don't have to eat these. If you have a problem with your body, find a proper hospital to have a look. Most of those wandering doctors are liars." "Okay, thank you, old man. I was just asking. Now it seems that it's really fake. It's just that my body is a little weak. This is also a prescription given to me by someone else." Xiaochen took back the prescription and nodded. However, he felt ashamed in his heart. These medicinal herbs that could be bought in the market were worth more than 300,000 yuan, and there were so many medicinal herbs that could not be bought. In this way, 1 million yuan for one medicinal herb was really not a high price, especially when they gave him a 50% discount. How could he still doubt them? After leaving the pharmacy, Xiaochen sighed. He thought that the money would last him for a long time, but now it seemed that he would run out of money in a few days. Money, ah, money, you murderous knife. Xiaochen had never been so short of money. If he had known that he could cultivate when he was in the Xiao family, he believed that even if Cheng Menjiang's uncle died, old Master Cheng would not easily break off the engagement, right? Of course, even if he broke off the engagement, the Xiao family would not drive him out of the family easily, would they? However, had it not been for the opportunity, Xiaochen would not have met the elder heaven ancestor and embarked on the awesome path of cultivation. When Xiaochen returned to school, he saw two cars next to Cheng Menjiang and Jean Beibei. One of them was a Porsche 991, and the other was an Audi A6L. Xiaochen's eyelids twitched when he saw the cars. He had a vague memory of the car, but he did not know where he had seen it before. However, Audi A6L was a very common car. It was not strange that Xiaochen had seen it before. The Porsche 991 was obviously Chen Jinpeng's. He was standing next to the car and talking to Shen Jingxian. Shen Jingxian did not interrupt but simply listened to him with a smile. That was exactly her personality. She was always warm to everybody. Her sunny smile and her gentle tone did not betray her real thoughts. There was no telling whether or not she had accepted Chen Jinpeng. It was impossible for Xiaochen not to care about the fact that his former goddess had become the fiancée of his former follower. However, some things had changed, and Xiaochen was no longer the Xiaochen in the past. Even if he killed Chen Jinpeng, the Shen family would still choose another family for Shen Jingxian to marry. Would he kill every family that appeared? Chao Yuliang, on the other hand, was talking to Qing Menjing. Compared to Shen Jingxian, the lady's emotions were all written on her face. She looked at Chao Yuliang indifferently. Xiaochen stopped the car. Jean Beibei shouted happily, "Cousin-in-law, you're here." Chao Yuliang couldn't help but frown when he heard the word cousin-in-law. However, he couldn't tell whether Jean Beibei was sincere or sarcastic. Because Jean Beibei's thoughts were too unpredictable. Xiaochen nodded. At this moment, Chao Yuliang turned to look at Xiaochen and said, "Xiaochen, we've been fighting for so many years, but there's no clear winner. However, you were unexpectedly driven out of the family and lost the chance to compete with me for Qing Menjing." What a pity. When Chao Yuliang said this, although he was looking at Xiaochen, he was also looking at Qing Menjing out of the corner of his eyes. He wanted to know what Qing Menjing thought about Xiaochen. However, it was a pity that the lady's face was still cold. This made Xiaochen feel slightly relieved. Chao Yuliang was secretly observing Qing Menjing. Wasn't he the same? If he gave himself away in front of his sworn enemy and the Qing family heard about it, it wouldn't be a joke. However, the lady's emotions were only on the surface. In front of outsiders, she didn't care about Xiaochen at all. Even when Xiaochen came, she just took a glance at him and didn't pay attention to him anymore. As for what Jean Beibei said, that was Jean Beibei's business. Practically no one dared to casually believe her words. "Don't talk about those useless things. Where's my appearance fee?" Chao Yuliang was about to say something to make Xiaochen lower his guard against him. He wanted to see if there was anything fishy between Xiaochen, Qing Menjing, and Jean Beibei. However, he didn't expect that he would be interrupted by Xiaochen directly. As a result, he couldn't say what he had prepared. He was very upset. "Give it to him." Chao Yuliang looked at Chen Jinpeng. "Here you are. This is a card worth 150,000 yuan. The password is 6 zeros. Chen Jinpeng handed a bank card to Xiaochen. "Okay. Ask me to come out next time. Remember, the minimum appearance fee is 150,000 yuan. Xiaochen put away the bank card in satisfaction and said. Chao Yuliang frowned. Xiaochen was almost the same as the rumors said. He was still arrogant, but he had become greedy. However, it was normal. It was probably the first time that the young master of the Xiao family had tasted the feeling of being poor. It would be strange if he wasn't greedy. "Then, can we go to eat now?" asked Chao Yuliang. "I don't have a problem with that. Why don't you ask them?" Xiaochen pointed at Qing Menjing and Jean Beibei. When they were outside, he had to remember his identity as a servant and did not dare to usurp the host's position, although he was in charge of Qing Menjing's meals every day. Humph. Chen Jinpeng, are you looking down on me? Even my servants have appearance fees. Why don't I, the host, have them? Qing Menjing hated Chen Jinpeng and Chao Yuliang. If it weren't for Shen Jingxian, she wouldn't have bothered to come out. Well. Chen Jinpeng felt like crying. What's wrong with these people being assimilated by Jean Beibei? Why are they so greedy for money? Chao Yuliang nodded slightly. Chen Jinpeng hurried to take out a bank card from his pocket and gave it to Qing Menjing. Yes. How can I not have it? This is a 200,000 yuan card. The password is 6 zeros. It was the card that Chen Jinpeng had prepared to pay for the meal later, but he had given it away just like that. Only 200,000 yuan. It's not even enough to fill the gap between my teeth. Qing Menjing took over the bank card and gave it to Xiaochen without even looking at it. Take it. It's a reward from me. Thank you, miss. Xiaochen hurried to take the card. He didn't expect that Qing Menjing would give him money. What a surprise. However, it didn't matter even if the Qing family learned about it. After all, it could be regarded as a way for Qing Menjing to humiliate Xiaochen. The corner of Chen Jinpeng's mouth twitched. Damn it. 200,000 yuan is still not enough. If you are not Shen Jingshuan's good friend and brother Liang's goddess, you can go if you want. Get the hell out of here. You have already spent more than 300,000 yuan before the meal. Nobody who is with Jean Beibei is a good person. Shall we go now? It's almost time. Chao Yuliang looked at his watch and said, Xiao Chen, are you going to take my car? Shen Jingxian would definitely take Chen Jinpeng's car, and Jean Beibei had a car. Even if Chao Yuliang wanted Cheng Menjing to take his car, it was impossible. I still need a driver. Xiao Chen, you drive. Cheng Menjing said as she pointed at Pamela. Oh, okay. Xiao Chen nodded. He was a bit resigned. Chao Yuliang wished he could exchange with Xiao Chen. It was a good opportunity to get close to his goddess. He didn't expect that Xiao Chen, a servant, would waste it. The place where they ate today was a northern restaurant. The specifications couldn't be said to be the most luxurious, but it was also very unique. There was a 3-story building with an independent parking lot in front of the door. It was also a well-known restaurant in this neighborhood. Most importantly, it was one of the properties of the Chao family and Chao Yuliang's territory. Chao Yuliang parked the car and waited for Chen Jinpeng, Shen Jingxian, Xiao Chen, Cheng Menjing, and Jean Beibei to get off the car. Then, he entered the hotel with them. Young Master Chao, Young Master Chen, Miss Cheng, Miss Shen, and Miss Jean, welcome. The doorman directly ignored Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen had eaten here before. Therefore, it was impossible that the doorman didn't know him. However, the news that he was kicked out of the Xiao family had obviously spread out, especially in the hotel of the Chao family. Therefore, these people started to look down on him. However, Xiao Chen didn't care about that. When he was about to go in, Jean Beibei started to lose her temper. Hey, you, why did you put me at the back? Do you mean that I'm worse than Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng? I'm going to tell my grandpa that you are discriminating against the Jean family. You despise us. Chapter 118. The doorman greeted them according to Chao Yuliang's instructions. The ranking was also based on the overall strength of the families in Songning City. Of course, the reason why Cheng Menjing was placed behind Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng was that although the Cheng family was the top family in Songning City, they were women. Therefore, it was not a problem for them to be placed behind according to the rules. Who would have thought that Jean Beibei would suddenly make things difficult for them? However, he could not afford to offend Jean Beibei, especially old Master Jean of the Jean family, who was famous for being unreasonable. If he came, the hotel would probably be razed to the ground, and there would be no place to reason with him. Who asked you to discriminate against the Jean family? Being pushed by someone, that person deserved to be unlucky. Chao Yuliang frowned. He did not want Jean Beibei to make things difficult for him. However, he was not stupid. It was impossible for him to be arrogant and arrogant to be able to wrestle with the impersonator Xiao Chen over the years. He just smiled casually and said, Beibei, generally speaking, the last person to show up is the most important one. Look, in general, the last person to show up is the chairman. Oh, so you mean that I am the VIP, right? More honorable than you? Jean Beibei asked. Yes. Chao Yuliang nodded. Then why don't I have a diamond VIP card? Aren't you a VIP? You even have a diamond VIP card. Are you lying to me? Jean Beibei suddenly glared at Chao Yuliang and said angrily. Well. Chao Yuliang was very angry. It was a failure to bring Jean Beibei along. However, if he wanted to invite Cheng Menjing, she would not come without Jean Beibei. In order to please Cheng Menjing, he had to put up with it. The so-called Diamond VIP card was a VIP card of the highest level given by the Chao family. Those who came to eat here could enjoy the free treatment. The Chao family only gave such cards to some important partners and the outstanding disciples of the family. For example, Chao Yuliang was the heir of the Chao family. Naturally, he was qualified to have such a VIP card. He usually chose this place to treat his guests because he did not have to pay. However, he did not expect that he would be tricked by Jin Beibei before he even had his meal. Chen Jinpeng looked at Chao Yuliang sympathetically and thought, "You mocked me for having my car stolen by Jin Beibei. What happened now? You were tricked, weren't you? Well, I'll give this card to you. You have it, but I don't. So, you are of a higher level than me now, aren't you?" Chao Yuliang gritted his teeth. He thought to himself that he could consider it a love investment. If he gave it to Jin Beibei, he would be giving it to Cheng Menjing in exchange for a good impression from her. That was better than anything else. It was just a card. With his position in the Chao family, it would not be difficult for him to get another one. That's more like it. Jin Beibei put the diamond VIP card back and said proudly, "Today, Jin Beibei is treating us. Feel free to eat whatever you like." Who? Chao Yuliang took a deep breath and almost collapsed on the spot. You are treating us? However, he knew that if he infuriated Jin Beibei and the girl left with Cheng Menjing, all his efforts would be in vain. I didn't know that, Chao Yuliang. It's only been a few days since we last met, and you seem to be quite good at training yourself. Have you been watching a blockbuster recently? Xiao Chen glanced at Chao Yuliang mockingly. What blockbuster? Chao Yuliang was slightly dazed. The Ninja Turtle. Before Xiao Chen opened his mouth, Jin Beibei continued, Am I right, cousin-in-law? Let him figure it out on his own, Xiao Chen said with a smile. Chao Yuliang's face turned gloomy, not because Jin Beibei called him a ninja turtle, but because Jin Beibei had called him cousin-in-law. He knew that Jin Beibei might be playing tricks on Xiao Chen, just like how he had been tricked without him knowing. However, on second thought, what benefit could Jin Beibei get from playing tricks on Xiao Chen? Jin Beibei had tricked people a few times for her own benefit, such as Chen Jinpeng's car and his own diamond VIP card. However, Xiao Chen was a poor guy. What benefit could he get? Therefore, Chao Yuliang did not know whether it was true or not. The more he thought about it, the more upset he felt. However, he could not say anything, fearing that Jin Beibei would play tricks on him again if he asked her. They went upstairs and entered the private room. However, what happened next made Chao Yuliang even more upset. After Jin Beibei sat down, she held the menu and asked Xiao Chen to order food. Cousin-in-law, look. This is delicious, said Jin Beibei. Yes, yes. We ate this in the Azure Sea Palace last time. It's delicious. Xiao Chen nodded. Beibei, look. This looks delicious too. Yes, yes, yes. Let's order one, too. Let's eat together later. Said Jin Beibei. Okay, okay. Let's order one, too. Xiao Chen was more than happy to play dumb with Jin Beibei. He did not try to hide his relationship with Jin Beibei, either, because it would be too unnatural. Cheng Menjing pretended that she did not care, but she was secretly frowning. Why is Xiao Chen acting exactly like Jin Beibei? Two gluttons and a money grubber. Xiao Chen had earned 150,000 for his appearance, and Jin Beibei had gotten a diamond VIP card. However, what Cheng Menjing did not expect was that she had asked for 200,000 before. Seeing Xiao Chen's drooling face, Chen Jinpeng could not help but mock, Xiao Chen, why do you look like a hungry ghost? How many days has it been since you last ate? Chen Jinpeng, are you scolding me indirectly? Jin Beibei raised her head and bared her teeth at Chen Jinpeng. Well. Chen Jinpeng did not think of Jin Beibei at all. Now that he realized that he had offended Jin Beibei, too, he immediately regretted his words. How could he have been so talkative? What a b asterisk tch. He could only say with a smile, how could I? Well, you said you couldn't, but you must be thinking the same way, said Jean Bebe. Speaking of bickering, Chen Jinpeng was no match for Jean Bebe at all. Even if he and Chao Yuliang worked together, they wouldn't be able to do anything. He was immediately put out by Jean Bebe. What about you? Humph. While talking, Jean Bebe suddenly slapped her car key on the table. Right, Chen Jinpeng, I think your car is quite good. Why don't we swap cars? Swap cars? Chen Jinpeng was slightly dazed, but Jean Bebe did not pursue what had happened just now. It was exactly what he wanted. Besides, the Porsche Panamera had been modified, and the Porsche 991 had not been modified yet. It would be very worthwhile to swap cars. Thinking about that, Chen Jinpeng hurried to say, okay. Let's do it. While talking, he gave the car key to Jean Bebe. Jean Bebe was rather straightforward this time. She gave her car key to Chen Jinpeng, too. Seeing that Jean Bebe did not play any tricks this time, Chen Jinpeng was greatly relieved. After swapping cars, Jean Bebe seemed to be quite satisfied. She went to order food from Xiaofan again. This time, Chen Jinpeng had learned his lesson. He shut his mouth and did not dare to say anything. Chao Yuliang did the same. He had intended to test Xiaofan, but he did not dare to open his mouth to test him. If he was wrong, he would be screwed. Very soon, the dishes were served. They were all the dishes that Jean Bebe had ordered. However, Chao Yuliang and the rest of them were not really there to eat. She could order whatever she wanted. After the waiters left, Jean Bebe and Xiaofan began to eat as if nobody else were there. Cousin-in-law, this dried pot is delicious. Jean Bebe placed the dried pot in front of her and Xiaofan. Yes, it is indeed delicious. Xiaofan nodded after eating. Bebe, the mushroom I ate just now was delicious, too. Yes, yes. The mushroom is delicious. After taking a bite, Jean Bebe's eyes narrowed into crescents. She picked up a prawn crawler and put it on Xiaofan's plate. Cousin-in-law, this prawn crawler is delicious, too. Let me have a taste. Xiaofan picked it up and stuffed it into his mouth. It's delicious. Delicious. Chao Yuliang looked at Xiaofan and Jean Bebe in a daze. Now, he was not convinced that Xiaofan and Cheng Menjing were in a relationship. Although Jean Bebe called Xiaofan her cousin-in-law, Cheng Menjing did not seem to care about Xiaofan at all. Instead, she slightly frowned when she saw Xiaofan and Jean Bebe. However, Chao Yuliang's concern came from Jean Bebe. Was there anything fishy going on between Xiaofan and Jean Bebe? The two of them seemed to be very close. Was Jean Bebe really trying to trick Xiaofan? It did not look like it. If the two of them were dating, Chao Yuliang would have believed it. However, his heart suddenly skipped a beat when he thought of the idea. No. He could not allow Xiaofan to make a comeback. Absolutely not. Xiaofan, how are you doing right now? Are you still in touch with the Xiao family? Chao Yuliang asked calmly. Not bad. Somebody often invites me to dinner. I feel that my life is even better than before. Before, I had to pay for my meals with my own money. Now, somebody else pays for me, Xiaofan said. The Xiao family? Not really. I saw my sister a couple of days ago and was scolded by her. Huh? Chao Yuliang was dazed for a moment. Then, he was more or less relieved. It seemed that the Xiao family's attitude toward Xiaofan had not changed. It was a good thing. Now, he had 3 pieces of information, some good and some bad. One was that Cheng Menjing and Xiaofan did not seem to be in a relationship. They should not be a love story between a young lady and a servant. However, he was not very sure. Two was that the relationship between Jean Bebe and Xiao Chen was a little special. He did not know whether Jean Bebe wanted to trick Xiao Chen or make use of Xiao Chen. Or perhaps, both of them were greedy for money, so they fell in love with each other. The third piece of information was more important. The Xiao family's attitude toward Xiao Chen had not changed. He could be sure of that. Chao Yuliang did not think that Xiao Chen would lie to him. The third piece of information was really good news. Well, I haven't seen Xiao for a long time. Huh. By the way, Cheng Menjing, I heard that your brother, Cheng Mengxiang, wants to propose marriage to the Xiao family? Chao Yuliang looked at Cheng Menjing and said. Meng Chang likes Xiao. This surprised Cheng Menjing. Cheng Mengxiang's brother was not close to her, his cousin. Chapter 119. Although there was not much of a difference between the two of them, only a few years apart, Cheng Mengxiang seemed to be very scheming, which made it difficult for Cheng Menjing to get along with him. For so many years, other than talking during the holidays, it was actually very difficult for them to interact with each other. Cheng Mengxiang was the son of Cheng Menjing's second uncle, Cheng Xiaofan. I just heard about it. It seems that the marriage between the Cheng family and the Xiao family isn't over yet. Chao Yuliang was relieved to see that Cheng Menjing was just surprised. I haven't seen Xiao for a long time. By the way, Cheng Menjing, I heard that your brother, Cheng Mengxiang, wants to propose marriage to the Xiao family? Chao Yuliang looked at Cheng Menjing and said. Mengxiang likes Xiao. This surprised Cheng Menjing. Cheng Mengxiang's younger brother wasn't close to his cousin. Although they were only a few years apart, Cheng Mengxiang seemed to be very scheming, which made it difficult for Cheng Menjing to hang out with him. For so many years, apart from talking during festivals, it was difficult for them to interact with each other. Cheng Mengxiang was the son of Cheng Menjing's second uncle, Cheng Xiaofan. I just heard about it. It seems that the marriage between the Cheng family and the Xiao family isn't over yet. Chao Yuliang was relieved to see that Cheng Menjing was just surprised. In theory, if the Cheng family and the Xiao family united by marriage, it wouldn't be a good thing for Xiao Chen. This was because it would completely cut off the possibility of a relationship between Cheng Menjing and Xiao Chen. The Cheng family weren't fools. It was impossible for two members of the same family to unite by marriage with another family. That wouldn't maximize the benefits at all. Moreover, in this marriage, the Cheng family would be the leader, and the Xiao family would be the weaker one. In order to appease the anger of the Cheng family, the Xiao family would definitely lower their stance. As long as the Cheng family didn't forgive Xiao Chen would never be able to make a comeback. The most important thing was that Xiao Chen's younger sister, Xiao Chen, didn't like Xiao Chen, which confirmed that it was impossible for Xiao Chen to return to the Xiao family. Of course, the final benefit that these things brought to Chao Yuliang was that if the Qiao family used their power, Cheng Menjing might be his wife. Really? Cheng Menjing asked indifferently, which made Chao Yuliang unable to see her real thoughts. In fact, Cheng Menjing's thoughts weren't as complicated as Chao Yuliang's. Although she was a member of a big family, she naturally couldn't see the drawbacks with her kind character. In her opinion, if the Cheng family really united by marriage with the Xiao family again, would Xiao Chen be able to return to the Xiao family? After Xiao Chen heard it, he felt a little strange in his heart. What was the Cheng family playing at? He could see it clearly. Even if the engagement between Cheng Menjing and himself was destroyed, he was more likely to return to the Xiao family in the end. Or was it that the Cheng family was just angry for a while? After the anger subsided, they wouldn't care about his life anymore? I can't be sure. It's just a rumor. In fact, Chao Yuliang wasn't sure about this matter. He also heard that person mention it vaguely. At this time, he said it just to test Cheng Menjing. However, after testing, he couldn't see anything on Cheng Menjing's face, which made him very depressed. Chao Yuliang had no other way. He could only give Chen Jinpeng a look. Since he couldn't test her, then he would carry out the second plan, which was to defame Xiao Chen. As long as he often belittled Xiao Chen's image, then Cheng Menjing would definitely not have feelings for Xiao Chen. This kind of thing was imperceptible. As long as she slowly hated Xiao Chen from the bottom of her heart, then even if Xiao Chen wanted to change this impression, it would be useless. Xiao Chen, after dinner, little brother will bring you to have some fun. I heard that there are a few top girls in the Dreamland nightclub. One of them is a porn actress called Cici. Can I help you arrange it? Chen Jinpeng said at this time. Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. Although he had been to the Dreamland nightclub to have fun, it was nothing more than singing, drinking, and showing off with his little brother. He had never looked for any prostitutes. He was still a virgin. What was this Chen Jinpeng doing? However, very soon, he understood. Was this guy sent by Chao Yuliang to be his henchman? Belittling his image in front of Cheng Menjing? Xiao Chen was very puzzled. It was basically impossible for him and Miss to be together. Why was he doing these useless things? Could it be that he was such a big threat to him? Oh, it's Cici. Pengzi, what are the names of the two girls we played together last time? Those two young models? Xiao Chen nodded shamelessly and then said to Chen Jinpeng, I think those two are good. We can have a threesome, F***CKU, aren't you framing me? Anyway, it's impossible for me and Miss to be together now. I don't have any expectations for goddess Shen Jingxian, so I'm not afraid of slandering you. Since you like going to nightclubs so much, I don't mind framing you. Huh? Chen Jinpeng was stunned. When did he play with young models with Xiao Chen? Xiao Chen's words made Shen Jingxian frown. Although Chen Jinpeng was arranged by the family, it didn't mean that she liked Chen Jinpeng. When she heard that Chen Jinpeng went to play with young models, Shen Jingxuan's impression of him suddenly plummeted. There was no other reason. It was because Chen Jinpeng had been bragging about how upright he was when he was in contact with her for the past few days. Because he had been a second young master since he was young, he didn't have too many bad habits of a playboy. He was Shen Jingxuan's ideal marriage partner. But now, it seemed that they were jackals of the same tribe. As for Xiao Chen, Shen Jingxian didn't feel that there was anything wrong with it. Because Xiao Chen was notorious in the past. He had such a beautiful fiancée, but he still flirted with other women. Not only did he pursue Kerlin, he also pursued her. So, Shen Jingxian was used to Xiao Chen's behavior. As for Cheng Menjing, she just frowned slightly. She didn't believe that Xiao Chen was a playboy. How many of these young masters were playboys? Even her younger brother, Cheng Menjing had heard that he played with women. It wasn't a secret in the aristocratic families. Cheng Menjing was completely disappointed with her fiancé, Xiao Chen. So, now that Xiao Chen changed a little, she was surprised. As for these things that Chen Jinpeng said, Cheng Menjing didn't care at all. She had seen the worst side of him. How could she be afraid that it wouldn't be worse? In Cheng Menjing's opinion, it was unforgivable that Xiao Chen bullied others and forced himself to pursue Kerlin. It was normal for him to find a prostitute. If Chao Yuliang knew Cheng Menjing's logic, he would probably die of anger. Cheng Menjing didn't have high requirements. Was it a surprise that he was a little better? However, Chen Jinpeng used to work for Xiao Chen. If he denied it, Shen Jingxian wouldn't believe it. It was him who brought up this topic, and Xiao Chen said it in a natural way. It didn't seem to be fake at all. Wow, a threesome? Isn't it cool? Jean Bebe raised her head and looked at Xiao Chen with admiration. Cousin-in-law, you are so powerful. Pooh. Xiao Chen spat out the drink in his mouth. He had just mentioned it casually, but Jean Bebe took it seriously and looked very excited. Was this girl's mind abnormal? What's a threesome? Cheng Menjing didn't know what it meant. She looked at Jean Bebe in confusion. She thought it was a round-trip flight. It's a threesome. Jean Bebe said, but threesome is not limited by gender. 2 men and 1 woman, 2 women and 1 man. 3 men or 3 women are all threesome. But a threesome is 2 women and 1 man. In other words, threesome includes a threesome. A threesome is a subset of threesome. Cheng Menjing didn't know what a threesome was. But threesome was common. How could she not know? She glared at Xiao Chen after hearing that. Hey, don't lead me astray. Bebe said that. Xiao Chen said with a bitter smile. Humph, you did it, Cheng Menjing said. Then I did it. Xiao Chen said. You. Cheng Menjing was a bit angry. Can't you be more reserved in front of your fiancé? Do you even care about me? How can you talk about such things in front of me? How annoying. Seeing that Cheng Menjing was starting to hate Xiao Chen, Chao Yuliang was quite happy. It seemed that his scheme had worked. However, if he knew Cheng Menjing's real thoughts at the moment, he would probably vomit blood. Shall we go in a while? For Chao Yuliang, Chen Jinpeng was ready to risk everything. After all, Shen Jingxian was already his fiancée. Even if he didn't have a good impression of her, it was something that couldn't be changed. At most, he would kiss her again later, but he couldn't run away. He was in urgent need of Chao Yuliang to take him to some occasions where the young masters would appear in order to increase his appearance and sense of existence. Otherwise, it would be very awkward for him to take over the identity of the young master. Okay, Xiao Chen said indifferently. Jean Bebe was full at the moment. Hearing that Chen Jinpeng wanted to go to a nightclub, she immediately echoed, oh, oh, oh. I want to go, too. Chen Jinpeng's face darkened. He had planned to let Shen Jingxian, Cheng Menjing, and Jean Bebe leave first. After all, if he took Xiao Chen there, he and Chao Yuliang would have to have some fun, wouldn't they? However, if Jean Bebe went there, what if Shen Jingxian and Cheng Menjing went there too? However, Chao Yuliang's eyes brightened. If Jean Bebe went there, wouldn't it be possible for Cheng Menjing to go there too? By then, she would witness Xiao Chen's embarrassing behavior when he was looking for a prostitute. In that case, Cheng Menjing would probably never be able to be with Xiao Chen again in her life, would she? Thinking of that, Chao Yuliang pretended to be surprised and said, Jean Bebe, Xiao Chen is going to look for a prostitute. What are you going to do there? I'm going to look for a prostitute, too. I haven't looked for one yet. Jean Bebe, however, shouted excitedly, I'm going too. I'm going too. Bebe, do you have that function? Cheng Menjing looked at Jean Bebe who was yelling and screaming and felt very embarrassed. How stupid was she? I don't, but my cousin-in-law does. I'll watch him look for a prostitute and cheer for him, said Jean Bebe. Chapter 120. Ahem. A scene appeared in Xiao Chen's mind. He was with a girl, and Jean Bebe was cheering for him. How exciting. He didn't know why, but the girl's appearance had turned into Cheng Menjing's. Humph, then I'll go and have a look. Let's watch together. Cheng Menjing looked at Xiao Chen's fantasy and enjoyment. Suddenly, she felt a little uncomfortable. Am I so unattractive? I didn't see you look like this when you were at home. You look so beautiful when you are with a girl. I'm so mad. I'll go and ruin things for you. However, if Cheng Menjing knew that Xiao Chen was fantasizing about her just now, she didn't know if she should be happy or angry. Seeing that Cheng Menjing was going, Chao Yuliang was relieved. But what puzzled him was that Xiao Chen didn't seem to care about Cheng Menjing's opinion at all. It seemed that there was really nothing going on between them. However, it was a little strange to say that there was nothing going on between them under the same roof. Apart from Cheng Menjing and Shen Jingxian, the rest of the food was eaten by Xiao Chen and Jin Beibei. Chen Jinpeng and Chao Yuliang didn't eat any of it. Most importantly, they didn't have the nerve to fight for it. Jin Beibei and Xiao Chen had placed their plates in front of them. How embarrassing would that be? But the two of them didn't seem to think about it at all. They ate as happily as they could. After the meal, Jin Beibei waved her hand and swiped her diamond card. The bill was free. Chao Yuliang's face twitched again. That was his card. Wonderland in Dreams was one of the most famous nightclubs in Songning City. It was luxuriously decorated and had many entertainment programs. It was the first choice of entertainment for the children of the aristocratic families. 3 cars parked in the underground parking lot of Wonderland in Dreams one after another. They got out of the cars and entered Wonderland in Dreams. When the receptionist at the door saw Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng, she immediately greeted them with a smile. "Young Master Chao, young Master Chen, you're here again. Why did he bring 3 little girls with him today? And they're all so pretty? Are you dissatisfied with the ladies here?" The receptionist automatically ignored Xiao Chen. Although Xiao Chen had been here before, Xiao Chen's deeds had spread. Who would still respect him? He looked like a follower and was not a big shot. When Chao Yuliang heard the greeting, he really wanted to slap the man in the face. Usually, he would be very happy. After all, the receptionist flattered him and ignored Xiao Chen. That kind of feeling would be very satisfying. But now, the receptionist said this. Didn't that mean that he came often? Moreover, he mentioned that he was looking for a prostitute. Didn't that mean that he often came here to look for a prostitute? As for the fact that the receptionist didn't know Cheng Menjing, Shen Jingxian, and Jin Beibei, it was understandable. Why would girls like them come here? Today was the first time. Ahem. Chao Yuliang coughed twice and glanced at Cheng Menjing. He said, "Menjing, don't misunderstand. I'm just here to socialize and play. Oh, what does that have to do with me?" Cheng Menjing rolled her eyes and didn't take it to heart. Chao Yuliang sighed in his heart. Cheng Menjing didn't have that kind of interest in him. However, from Cheng Menjing's expression, she probably didn't have any interest in Xiao Chen either. They both had this kind of disdainful expression. "Jingxian, that's because I used to occasionally come here with young Master Xiao. It's also for fun." Shen Jinpeng quickly explained to Shen Jingxian. Shen Jingxian frowned slightly. She thought Shen Jinpeng was too unreliable. She decided to go back and discuss with her father. Even if it was a political marriage, they shouldn't look for Chen Jinpeng. She thought they wouldn't be happy in the future. It wasn't scary that he had looked for a prostitute. What was scary was that he lied to others. Shen Jingxian was the eldest daughter of an aristocratic family. She could barely accept a man having 3 wives and 4 concubines, let alone playing with a prostitute. However, what she was most afraid of was deceiving people. Shen Jingxian didn't think it was very tolerable. At this time, Shen Jingxian felt that Xiao Chen was much more pleasing to the eye. This person never pretended. He was what he was. The greeter saw that Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng's expressions weren't right. After listening to their explanation to the girls beside them, he immediately understood that these beauties weren't ordinary women. They were people with status. His previous words were a bit unnecessary. He was so scared that he quickly moved to the side and didn't dare to say anything more. "It seems that I come here too rarely. They don't even know me." Huh. Xiao Chen seemed to laugh at himself. In fact, it indirectly meant that Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng were regular customers here. These two people finally felt like they had shot themselves in the foot. They obviously wanted to ruin Xiao Chen's reputation, but Xiao Chen didn't seem to care about this at all. Of course, Xiaochen didn't care. In the past, in order to save his life, he didn't hesitate to pretend to be a prodigal. What was this little thing? Young Master Xiao, Young Master Chao, Young Master Chen, are you here to sing? At this time, a man in a black suit came over. Obviously, the greeter told him about the situation here. He was the lobby manager, Feng Yujing. He was a smart person. As soon as he came up, he put Xiaochen in front of him. In addition to showing that he valued Xiaochen, it also indirectly showed that Xiaochen was a regular customer. However, if it was usual, it would be fine. With the previous words of the greeter, he was a little pretentious. Yes, sing. Chao Yuliang breathed a sigh of relief. Give me a private room. Okay, please wait a moment. As he spoke, Feng Yujing picked up the walkie-talkie and spoke into it. Then, he said to Chao Yuliang, Purple Chi Pavilion private room on the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor of the Wonderland of Dreams was filled with luxurious private rooms. They were all named with the words, Purple Chi Chamber, East Ascension Chamber, and Rising Sun Chamber. There were no room numbers. Otherwise, some guests would want private room number 1. That would be difficult to deal with. Furthermore, they were all words. You would not be able to tell which one was the best. Wait, aren't we here to look for a mistress? What song are we singing? Jean Beibei interrupted Feng Yujing and said, Chen Jinpeng, didn't you say you wanted Mistress Zhao? Feng Yujing was stunned. He looked at Jean Beibei in surprise and didn't know what to say. A girl came here to look for a mistress? He looked at Chao Yuliang with some difficulty. Let's sing for a while first and then look for a mistress later. There's no hurry. Chao Yuliang said. Oh, okay then. Jean Beibei nodded. Feng Yujing heaved a sigh of relief and sent them to the elevator. The 3rd floor's decoration was obviously not of the same level as the 1st and 2nd floors. In the past, Xiaochen had also been here. However, it was only limited to singing and drinking. He was not very interested in looking for a mistress. The few of them exited the elevator and walked in the direction of Purple Chi Pavilion. However, when they passed by one of the private rooms, Xiaochen's footsteps slowed down slightly. That was because he heard a familiar voice. However, very quickly, Xiaochen continued walking forward as if nothing had happened. He was secretly thinking about how he could make use of this matter. To be honest, Xiaochen hated Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng very much. He was not a saint. If there was a grudge, there was a grudge. Regardless of whether he was pretending to be a playboy or not, the grudge between him and Chao Yuliang had never been resolved. Of course, in the end, it was because Chao Yuliang liked Xiaochen's fiancée, Cheng Menjing. Even though Xiaochen had acted nonchalant at the start, he still cared deep down. Furthermore, there was Chen Jinpeng. This traitor had actually snatched Xiaochen's goddess. If Xiaochen had not been afraid of the Chen family's suspicions, he would have sent him to meet his brother long ago. The reason why he had been laughing and joking was actually because Xiaochen was more tolerant. They wanted to test Xiaochen. Xiaochen also wanted to see if the person who had been trying to harm him was Chen Jinpeng or Chao Yuliang. After entering the VIP room and ordering some snacks and beer, the waiter turned on the KTV song ordering system. Then, Chao Yuliang volunteered to sing. It had to be said that Chao Yuliang had a good voice. At least, Xiaochen thought so, because he could not sing at all. However, what puzzled Xiaochen was that Chao Yuliang had chosen a female singer's song. In fact, Chao Yuliang had heard from somewhere that Cheng Menjing liked this song. However, when he sang it, he found that Cheng Menjing did not even look at it. Then, he realized that he had been cheated. Chao Yuliang, I didn't expect you to be such a sissy. Jean Beibei laughed. It's a cross-roll practice. Chao Yuliang was speechless. He suddenly remembered that it was Jean Bebe who told him the name of the song. I bought a bag last year. After singing the song, Chao Yuliang walked to Cheng Menjing with the wireless microphone and said ingratiatingly, "Menjing, what song do you want to sing? Do you want me to help you?" Cheng Menjing glared at Chao Yuliang and said, "I don't like singing." Huh? Chao Yuliang was slightly stunned. Why was she angry all of a sudden? Ha ha ha, cousin Menjing is tone deaf. Liangzi, you are doomed. Jean Bebe suddenly burst into laughter. Bebe, do you want to know how death feels? Cheng Menjing turned around and continued to glare at Jean Bebe. Not now. I'll come to you in 100 years when I want to. Jean Bebe shut her mouth. It was not until then that Chao Yuliang realized that his flattery had gone too far. He was very upset and gave the microphone to Chen Jinpeng. Then, he sat down and gave Cheng Menjing a bottle of drink. Do you want to drink something? I like this. Cheng Menjing walked past Chao Yuliang's hand and picked up a bottle of fruit green tea. Then, she opened it and took a sip. I'm going to the bathroom. Xiao Chen suddenly stood up and walked out of the room. He could tell that his mistress did not like this place. She came here because of Jean Bebe. But at this moment, the noisy and dim environment made her frown. Xiao Chen did not know why he cared about Cheng Menjing's feelings. Was it because? Chapter 121. Is she my mistress? Or was she once my fiancée? Perhaps, it was both. As for looking for a prostitute, it was completely impossible for Xiao Chen. He wasn't that desperate. He hadn't looked for one before. Why would he look for one now? Xiao Chen came out of the private room. Just as someone came out of the private room where Xiao Chen had stayed for a while. Xiao Chen came out because he sensed the movement here. Sure enough. Xiao Chen, why are you here? Lu Zhenming saw Xiao Chen rushing towards him, and he was a little puzzled. Ah. Young Master Lu, but I don't have time to talk to you. I have to find the security guard. It's not good. Something big happened. Xiao Chen said anxiously. Wait. After Lu Zhenming heard Xiao Chen's words, he grabbed Xiao Chen. What happened? Why are you looking for the security guard? I don't want to talk to you now. It will be late in a while. Xiao Chen yelled. What the hell are you talking about? Lu Zhenming was also anxious. It's better to find me than to find the security guard. In this place, if I, Lu Zhenming, can't solve it, it's useless to find someone else. It was no wonder that Lu Zhenming was arrogant. This dreamland in Wonderland was his Lu family's business, so he dared to say this. Moreover, Lu Zhenming wanted to kill Xiao Chen now, but he couldn't make a move openly. First, he told Zheng Xiaoquan that it was not in line with the rules of the underworld if he made a move openly. Second, it was more important that Yu Xiaoquan was watching. Although he had thoughts about Yu Xiaoquan, he didn't dare to offend Yu Xiaoquan. Therefore, he pretended to listen to Yu Xiaoquan's words and built a good relationship with Xiao Chen. Now his purpose was to gain Xiao Chen's trust, so that he could have a chance to trick Xiao Chen. It seemed that the effect was very obvious. Then I'll tell you. Today, two ruthless men invited me, Cheng Menjing, and Jean Bebe to play here. One of them was my former underling, but now he has changed and doesn't care about me anymore. Xiao Chen said anxiously. What? Cheng Menjing is also here? At first, Lu Zhenming didn't pay much attention to it, but when he heard Cheng Menjing's name, he immediately paid attention. What happened? And then? Then, another ruthless man, he is Cheng Menjing's pursuer. I heard that he wanted to drug Cheng Menjing's drink, and then take the opportunity. You know. Xiao Chen said, although I like her now, no matter what, Cheng Menjing is my former fiancée. If she likes that man, it's okay. But the point is that she doesn't like him. I can't ignore it. Don't you think so? *CK their ancestors. As soon as Lu Zhenming heard that someone had drugged Cheng Menjing, he immediately exploded. He was so angry that he jumped up from the ground. Who dares to touch the woman that I, Lu Zhenming, fancy? You dare to drug someone in my territory? I'll *King kill him. Oh, young Master Lu, don't be impulsive. Seeing that Lu Zhenming was about to rush over, Xiaofan quickly grabbed him. I said, he is a ruthless man. A ruthless man means a warrior. If it were ordinary people, I would have beaten them to death. Oh, that's true. After hearing this, Lu Zhenming didn't rush over. Instead, he turned his head and shouted to the box he had just come out of, "Brothers Dong Yu and Dong Shu, you two come out and follow me to kick people." Yes. The people in the box responded and came out. They were two big men who looked somewhat similar. Judging from their names, they should be brothers. These two are? Xiaofan asked quickly. These two are the personal disciples of our Lu family's old ancestor. They are also my big brother and second brother. Today, I invited them to have fun. You really found the right time. If it was any other time, I really wouldn't be able to convince Master to ask them to help. Lu Zhenming said proudly, Big Brother Dong Yu is a martial artist at the peak of Stage 6 Inner Force. Second Brother Dong Shu is also a martial artist at the peak of Stage 4 Inner Force. With them taking action, no matter how ruthless people are, they will have to crawl out of here. That's awesome. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and save them. Xiaofan said excitedly. However, in Xiaofan's heart, a storm was set off. A martial artist at the peak of Stage 6 Inner Force. Lu Zhenming actually had such an expert by his side. If Lu Zhenming really let this person deal with him, then even if he had the help of the Elder Heaven Ancestor, he wouldn't be a match. Fortunately, Lu Zhenming couldn't order these two people around. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. The most important thing now was to increase his strength as soon as possible. Yes, save them. Let's go. Lu Zhenming waved his hand and the four of them rushed to the Purple Chi Pavilion. When they arrived at the entrance of the Purple Chi Pavilion, Lu Zhenming pointed to the door of the private room and asked, "Is this the place?" "That's right." Xiaofan nodded. "I'd better follow behind. If those two ruthless people find out that I was the one who leaked the information, they will kill me afterward. They don't dare to offend a fierce person like young Master Lu, but a small character like me can't. My family won't protect me." "Alright, then you stay behind." Lu Zhenming actually didn't want Xiaofan to be in the limelight. This was a great opportunity for him to be in the limelight. It was enough for him to be in the limelight. If he let Cheng Menjing remember that he saved her, she might have a good impression of him. Thinking of this, Lu Zhenming fiercely kicked the door of the private room. With a loud bang, the door of the private room was kicked open. Lu Zhenming rushed into the private room first and saw Cheng Menjing drinking a drink while Chao Yuliang was beside her saying something. **CK your mother's leg." Lu Zhenming flew over and slapped Chao Yuliang's face. Half of Chao Yuliang's face immediately swelled up like a steamed bun. He was slapped in a daze and didn't know what had happened. He sat there in a daze and didn't move. At this moment, Lu Zhenming's blood was boiling. He wasn't happy with the first slap, so he gave a second slap. With a pa sound, Chao Yuliang was immediately hit until his mouth was full of blood. His face also became like a pig's head. Who are you? What are you doing?" Chen Jinpeng was greatly shocked. Pointing at the thug who had broken into the private room, he shouted, "What? What are you doing?" He had just been promoted to the heir of the Chen family and hadn't participated in any activities of the noble families yet. Therefore, he didn't know who Lu Zhenming was at all. "Boy, don't move if you don't want to die." Dong Yu walked over and grabbed Chen Jinpeng's collar. She dragged him aside as if he were a chicken and revealed the capability of a warrior at the peak of the 6th level of his inner force. Chen Jinpeng was aghast in his heart. Not only was this thug incomparably ferocious, his strength was also very superb. He was a warrior at the peak of the 6th level of his inner force. Where did he come from? The lady was shocked. Shen Jingxian was shocked. Jin Beibei, on the other hand, watched Chao Yuliang being beaten in excitement. Bam. 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 Lu Zhenming was not satisfied yet. He kicked Chao Yuliang hard and knocked him to the ground. However, Chao Yuliang came back to himself this time. He hurried to protect his critical parts and dodged back and forth. Lu Zhenming was also a warrior at the 1st level of inner force. If he really attacked Chao Yuliang would certainly be beaten up badly. Therefore, it could not be helped. Chao Yuliang could only defend himself in secret, but he did not dare to be too obvious. If he did not defend himself, he would be beaten to death. More importantly, he would be beaten out of nowhere. He did not even see who his opponent was. However, seeing that Chao Yuliang was dodging, Lu Zhenming felt that the beating was not satisfying anymore. So he said to Dong Shu, who did not attack, "Second senior brother, come here and help me hold him down. I'm going to beat this little bastard to death. Damn it! How dare he touch the woman that I, Lu Zhenming, like? He must be tired of living." Dong Shu nodded. He came over and held Chao Yuliang down. Chao Yuliang wanted to struggle, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move. He secretly used the capability of the peak of the 3rd level of inner force, but he still could not break free, which meant that his opponent was more powerful. In desperation, Chao Yuliang could only defend himself with all his strength. Fortunately, Lu Zhenming's strength was not very high. Under Chao Yuliang's full defense, he was not badly beaten. However, Chao Yuliang only dared to defend himself secretly, but did not dare to show his strength of the peak of the 3rd level of inner force. Although Chen Jinpeng was on his side, Cheng Menjing, Shen Jingxian, and Jin Beibei were all from aristocratic families. If he secretly defended himself, they might not feel anything, because the internal force of the defense could only be perceived by the attacker who was very close to him. However, if the internal force of the attack was released, everyone nearby could feel it. Yes, Chao Yuliang was not a real foppish young master. Although he looked as arrogant and domineering as Xiao Chen, they were all from aristocratic families. Who was more stupid than the other? What you saw might not be the truth. For example, Yu Xiaochuan and Zheng Xiaokuan were all scheming people. Even Lu Zhenming was not simple. Although he had been tricked by Xiao Chen several times, if Xiao Chen hadn't hidden his true strength, if he was really the hedonistic idiot from before, he would have probably been toyed to death by Lu Zhenming by now. He wouldn't have survived until now. It could only be said that Lu Zhenming was not as smart as Xiao Chen, but it did not mean that he was not smart. In fact, the plots he made were exactly what a son from a family of mafias should have, but he used them on the wrong person. Over these years, Chao Yuliang had been hiding his real strength. He looked like a good-for-nothing on the surface. In fact, he had started to cooperate with someone when he was very young. The reason why he could become the eldest son of the Chao family was that with the help of that person, his cousin was expelled from the Chao family and sent to the north to manage his business. Now, he was the only heir of the Chao family. Xiao Chen hid outside the door of the private room. His breathing was slightly rapid, and his hands were clenched into fists, which was enough to show the injustice in his heart at this moment. Chapter 122. Others might not be able to sense Chao Yuliang's strength at the peak of Stage 3 inner force, but as a cultivator, Xiaochen would be able to sense it as long as a martial artist released their inner force, unless they deliberately suppressed it and hid it, ensuring that their inner force would not leak at all times. Xiaochen would never have thought that Chao Yuliang was actually a martial artist, and that he had already reached the peak of stage 3 inner force. Among the children of aristocratic families, he was one of the best. Of course, whether Chao Yuliang hid his strength or not, logically speaking, had little to do with Xiaochen. However, a group of fragmented memories reappeared in Xiaochen's mind, as if they were about to form a complete sequence of events: the somewhat familiar Audi A6L, the stage 3 inner force expert who pushed him down the cliff, Chao Yuliang's foresight when he returned to school, and the assassin's words of, "You also hid your strength." These scenes, which originally had nothing to do with each other, were put together at this moment. It made Xiaochen think of something. He narrowed his eyes and looked at Chao Yuliang in the private room. Was it him? Xiaochen was not too sure. On the way to Songlong Mountain cliff mouth, Xiaochen vaguely remembered that there seemed to be an Audi A6L and a taxi driving together. Of course, this was also discovered in the fragmented memories after he became a cultivator and recalled the past. And the car that Chao Yuliang drove today was precisely an Audi A6L. Back then, Xiaochen had not been able to figure out who it could be. However, Chao Yuliang, who was in front of him, fulfilled this condition. After returning to school, Chao Yuliang actually knew that he jumped off the cliff. How did the taxi driver know about this? When he walked to the cliff mouth, he remembered that the driver had already driven away. That unknown assassin said that he also hid his strength. Obviously, among the people he knew, there should be someone who also hid his strength. So many clues pointed to one person at the same time, that was Chao Yuliang. However, these things were not enough to be conclusive evidence, and Xiaochen could not determine whether this person was Chao Yuliang or not. Chao Yuliang, if this person is really you, then I'm afraid you will be disappointed. I, Xiaochen, am no longer the previous Xiaochen. Thinking of the previous times, if the assassin was sent by Chao Yuliang's people, then Lu Zhenming could be said to have helped him several times, and this time, it was Lu Zhenming who helped him. Lu Zhenming, wow, you are really a good person. In the private room, Chao Yuliang was already out of breath from being beaten and could not speak. Lu Zhenming, what are you doing? Cheng Menjing also recovered at this time and looked at Lu Zhenming with some horror. She did not know why he was crazy and beat up Chao Yuliang as soon as he came in. Menjing, this guy wants to do something bad to you. Don't worry, I will protect you. Lu Zhenming patted his chest and said. Chao Yuliang looked at Lu Zhenming with resentment. At this moment, he finally saw who the person in front of him was. Wasn't this the Lu Zhenming who repeatedly opposed him? However, at this moment, Chao Yuliang seemed to understand something. This guy, it turns out that he also likes Cheng Menjing. F*CKU, you are from an underworld family, how dare you challenge me, a young master from a formal family? Well, let's wait and see. He wanted to curse, but his cheeks were so swollen that he could not make a sound. Actually, everything happened very fast. It was only a few minutes since Lu Zhenming came in and beat up Chao Yuliang. At this time, Chen Jinpeng pointed at Lu Zhenming and shouted at the top of his voice, I don't care who you are. You beat up Child Chao. This is not over. Child Chao? What Child Chao or Child Li? I don't know him. Lu Zhenming wanted to act tough for a while, but when he saw Cheng Menjing frown, he suddenly remembered what Jean Beibei had said before. She said that Cheng Menjing did not like the scene of a hero saving a damsel in distress. Thinking of this, Lu Zhenming felt that he should stop before going too far. He should save someone without leaving his name, and he should not act tough. That was the only way he could win Cheng Menjing's favor. If he acted like a hero, he was afraid that he would have saved her in vain. Therefore, Lu Zhenming waved his hand and said, Menjing, it's all right now. I'm leaving. Don't drink the drinks on the table. With that, Lu Zhenming quickly led Dong Yu and Dong Shu out of the private room. They came and left in a hurry, not leaving a single cloud behind. Lu Zhenming walked out of the room and was a little puzzled when he did not see Xiao Chen. However, when he returned to his room, he saw Xiao Chen waiting for him at the door of the room. "Xiao Chen, why are you here? Didn't you see me beating people up just now?" Lu Zhenming looked at Xiao Chen with some puzzlement. "I say, young Master Lu, do you want to kill me? You went up and beat them up. You are not afraid of them, but I am. If I didn't hide quickly and let him know that I was the one who leaked the information, he would retaliate against me later." Xiao Chen said with a bitter face. "That's right." Lu Zhenming nodded after listening. "Xiao Chen, don't worry. I will never treat you badly in the future. How about this? You help me monitor him in the future. If that little bastard still wants to do something bad to Menjing, you tell me. I will kill him. Ah. Let me monitor him." Xiao Chen looked at Lu Zhenming with some embarrassment. "Young Master Lu, it's not that I don't want to help you. With our current relationship, you are protecting me and taking me to make money. I am actually very grateful to you. But you also know that I sell fried dough sticks every day. I don't have any spare time to pay attention to these things." Lu Zhenming listened to it. This Xiao Chen said for a long time. The main point was that he was short of money. Thinking of this, Lu Zhenming said, "How about this? I will give you a sum of investigation funds. How about it? You help me." "How much can you give?" asked Xiao Chen after listening. "1 month, how about 100,000 yuan?" asked Lu Zhenming. 100,000 yuan? D*mn, that's too little. If I have that time, I will go and play underground boxing. It will be more than 100,000 yuan. Xiao Chen shook his head and said disdainfully, "Your work is laborious but not rewarding. You also know that my engagement with the Cheng family has been broken off. If I have nothing to do and pay attention to Cheng Menjing, the Cheng family will think that I still like Cheng Menjing. Won't they kill me? No, the risk is too great. This." Lu Zhenming wanted to be angry. "Do you think that you can play underground boxing every day? Isn't that my family's money to compensate you?" However, when he heard the last sentence, he somewhat understood. Yes, Xiao Chen has nothing to do with Cheng Menjing now. If he pays attention to her all day, what if the Cheng family finds trouble with him? However, Lu Zhenming was also afraid that other people would do something to Cheng Menjing. If the rice was cooked, then wouldn't Lu Zhenming have no chance at all? Thinking of this, Lu Zhenming said, "Xiao Chen, wow, you also know that if you want to make a lot of money, it coexists with risks. How can there be so many good things in the world without sowing? How about I give you 200,000 yuan a month? 200,000 yuan is my limit. I don't have much pocket money." "Alright, then 200,000 yuan. Xiao Chen nodded reluctantly and said, "But let me say it first. This is only the investigation fee. If you want me to do something else, it will be more money." Xiao Chen also noticed that Lu Zhenming's pocket money was really not much. He didn't know how he bought the broken bowl before. At this time, he could take out 200,000 yuan, which was considered a big loss. "Of course, as long as you inform me, I will do the rest," Lu Zhenming said as he patted his chest. "Then I will go back first and see how it is over there." Xiao Chen nodded. "Give me my investigation fee as soon as possible. Otherwise, if the ruthless person also buys me, and gives me more money, I won't be able to hold back and change sides." "Ugh, okay, no problem. I will give it to you in a few days." Lu Zhenming listened to Xiao Chen's words and was very angry. "What the f***ck, change sides? What is this? You are an abandoned son of the Xiao family, and you are still so bad *ss. However, Lu Zhenming still didn't dare to say this. He still needed Xiao Chen. If Xiaochen really changed sides, it would be too late even if he cried. Xiaochen slowly returned to the purple Qi pavilion. Suddenly, he saw Chao Yuliang lying on the ground, and Chen Jinpeng was continuously searching for something on Chao Yuliang's body. Aya! Liangzi? What happened to you? Xiaochen looked at Chao Yuliang on the ground in horror. You have food poisoning? Why is your face swollen? Woo woo. Oh, oh. Chao Yuliang saw Xiaochen and wanted to explain. However, his mouth was so swollen that he couldn't open it. He couldn't say anything at all. Brother-in-law, Xiao Liangzi offended someone and was beaten up. Jean Bebe said, just now, Lu Zhenming brought people over and gave him a good beating. What? Lu Zhenming came? He beat up Chao Yuliang. Xiaochen looked at Chao Yuliang on the ground in puzzlement. I say, Liangzi, how did you offend Lu Zhenming? The two of you shouldn't know each other. Woo woo. Chao Yuliang was also extremely angry. It's not like I don't know him. However, when this guy came in, he beat me up like crazy. I'm really unlucky. Finally, Chen Jinpeng found a small medicine bottle on Chao Yuliang's body. He quickly opened it and poured the medicine inside into Chao Yuliang's mouth. After a while, the redness and swelling on Chao Yuliang's face subsided slightly. At least he could speak. Lu Zhen Ming, you wait. Brother Liang, shall we go back now? Chen Jinpeng asked carefully. Chao Yuliang nodded. It was not suitable for him to take revenge in his current state. It was even more impossible for him to continue playing. Alas, this is so boring. I haven't found a prostitute yet. Jean Bebe was very disappointed. Xiao Liangzi, you're so lousy. You haven't even found a prostitute yet, and you've already withered. Chao Yuliang's face turned red. If it was any other time, it would have been fine. But in front of Cheng Menjing, he said that he was a coward if he couldn't even handle one. Wouldn't that make Cheng Menjing look down on him? If Cheng Menjing looked down on him, she would never marry him for her own happiness. Chapter 123. Therefore, Chao Yuliang became hot-headed and shouted, Today I was beaten up. If it were any other day, I wouldn't fall even if there were 3 or 5 of them. Ah! So fierce. Cousin-in-law, can you surpass him? Jean Bebe turned around and looked at Xiaochen. Xiaochen was speechless. Disgusting. I don't want to see you again. Cheng Menjing blushed after hearing that. She glared at Chao Yuliang and turned around, pulling Jean Bebe's hand. Bebe, let's go home. This place is not fun. Driver, clear the way for me. Okay. Xiaochen had been sick of staying here for a long time. He had messed with Chao Yuliang not only because he wanted his mistress to leave this place as soon as possible, but also because he did not expect that there would be an unexpected gain. Although he was not sure that Chao Yuliang was the one who had been trying to set him up, it seemed that he was right. Smartyshow was right. Intelligence was always better. You were a knife that could kill without drawing blood. Where are we going now? Bebe's house? When they came to the parking lot, Xiaochen suddenly remembered that Jean Bebe's car had been replaced by a Porsche 991 with 2 doors and 2 seats. Wait for my car. We'll take both cars back, said Jean Bebe. Pooh. Xiaochen was dazed for a moment. Then, he thought of something and said, Bebe, you are really mean. Chen Jinpeng lost another car. I'm not as mean as my cousin-in-law. Jean Bebe said with a smile. Chao Yuliang was beaten into a pig's head. Hey, what are you talking about? Cheng Menjing did not understand what they were talking about. She did not know what they were talking about. Bebe wants to cheat Chen Jinpeng of another car, said Xiao Chen. It's my cousin-in-law who found Lu Jinming, said Jin Beibei. Cheng Menjing finally understood. She was not a black-bellied girl, so she naturally did not think of these things. However, it did not hinder her intelligence. She understood after Xiao Chen and Jin Beibei mentioned it. Sure enough, Jin Beibei was up to no good when she said she wanted to change cars. As for Lu Jinming, how could it be so coincidental that he suddenly appeared in the private room? It was only when Xiao Chen went to the toilet that he appeared. However, seeing that Xiao Chen and Jin Beibei seemed to know each other very well, Cheng Menjing felt a bit uncomfortable. I'm your hostess. Why are you playing with my cousin all the time? After a while, she saw Chen Jinpeng supporting Chao Yuliang and limping to the parking lot. Chen Jinpeng found it strange that Xiao Chen and the rest of them had not left yet. However, he was in a hurry to send Chao Yuliang back and had no time to care what Xiao Chen and the rest of them were doing. He took out the car key in a hurry, opened the door of the Panamera, and helped Chao Yuliang into the car. Shen Jingxian, on the other hand, followed them from a distance. Seeing Cheng Menjing, she was about to greet her when she saw Jin Beibei making a phone call. Hello, Grandpa. This is Beibei. Jin Beibei picked up the phone and put it next to her ear. She continued speaking loudly, yes, yes. Let's go back now. However, my car is lost again. It seems to be driven by Chen Jinpeng. What? Grandpa, you have to come. Holy sh*t. Chen Jinpeng, who was about to help Chao Yuliang into the car, suddenly staggered and almost fell to the ground. However, he did not. His hand shook and fell on Chao Yuliang's butt. He couldn't have looked more wretched. With hatred in his eyes, Chen Jinpeng looked at Jin Beibei not far away. However, after careful consideration, he decided not to change cars with Jin Beibei. Gnashing his teeth, he picked up the car key and walked close, saying to Jin Beibei, I don't want to change cars anymore. Looking at Chen Jinpeng, Jin Beibei hummed with a smile, you can't change Jin Beibei's things just because you want to, I don't want it anymore. Chen Jinpeng was worried about Chao Yuliang's wounds. Taking a deep breath, he slapped the Panamera's car key on the cover of the Porsche 991. I can't mess with them, but I can hide from them. Bye-bye. Jin Beibei picked up the car key and waved at Chen Jinpeng. Chen Jinpeng was so angry that smoke was rising from his nostrils and nose. Had he not been worried about Chao Yuliang, he would have spoken to Jin Beibei today before Gold Fur Lion arrived. Jingxian, let's get in the car. Chen Jinpeng walked to Chao Yuliang's Audi A6L. Thankfully, there was still another car. No, I'll call a taxi myself. You can drive Chao Yuliang home. Shen Jingxian shook her head. Although she was still smiling, she seemed to be a lot more distant from Chen Jinpeng. It was obvious that she hated Chen Jinpeng. Well. Okay. Chen Jinpeng naturally sensed it, too. However, he could not ignore Chao Yuliang. He could only ask Shen Jingxian about it another day. Helping Chao Yuliang into his Audi A6L, Chen Jinpeng hurried to get in the car and left quickly. Jingxian, why don't you ask Xiao Chen to drive you home? Seeing that Shen Jingxian was going back alone, Cheng Menjing was somewhat worried. Shen Jingxian was a pretty girl. What if she ran into some hooligans when she went out to call a taxi on such a busy street at such a late hour? There were crooks and honest folk mixed together in this area. There's no need to go through so much trouble. Shen Jingxian walked over and smiled as gently as before. Xiao Chen had once been obsessed with that smile. Time had passed, and Xiao Chen now only had appreciation for it. As the two of them drifted apart, their attitudes changed, too. Why not? And it's not troublesome at all. Shen Jingxian was Cheng Menjing's best friend. Apart from Jin Beibei, Cheng Menjing had the best relationship with her. How could she not worry about her? She glanced at Xiaochen and said, "Hey, Xiaochen, can you help me take Jingxian home? Is there a problem?" "No." Xiaochen smiled bitterly and thought, "How dare I say there is a problem? Okay, you drive the Panamera. Bebe and I will go to Grandpa Jin's home first. You can come by yourself then." Cheng Menjing ordered. "Okay, but what's the address?" Xiaochen had never been to Jin's home. "There's a navigation system in the car. Bebe has already set it up. You just need to find home at the address," Cheng Menjing said. "Got it." Xiaochen nodded. He took the key of the Panamera and nodded to Shen Jingxian. His eyes were no longer infatuated with her. He just said lightly, "Beauty Jingxian, get in the car." Shen Jingxian was stunned. Although Xiaochen called her Beauty Jingxian, the way Xiaochen looked at her was completely different from before, which made Shen Jingxian feel strange. How could a playboy change so much in such a short time? Of course, in fact, Xiaochen wasn't so superficial before. He just wanted to make himself look more stupid, so he deliberately had that expression. Xiaochen liked Shen Jingxian. It wasn't fake. A graceful lady was a gentleman's desire. However, at that time, Xiaochen still had some fantasies. He thought that if the Shen family and the Xiao family cooperated, would he still have a chance? Although Shen Jingshuan's Shen family was powerful, it wasn't the case in Songning City. If the Shen family wanted to expand their connections and power here, they must cooperate with the families here. At that time, Xiaochen thought that if the Shen family and the Xiao family cooperated, would he have a chance? After all, Cheng Menjing and Shen Jingxian were bosom friends. It wasn't uncommon for the children of aristocratic families to attack bosom friends. Xiaochen thought he understood these things at that time. But now, Xiaochen felt that he might have been a little into the role of a playboy at that time. No matter what, Shen Jingxian was the young lady of the Shen family. How could she follow him without a title? He wasn't a strong man. Xiaochen opened the car door for Shen Jingxian in a gentlemanly manner, but he wasn't as attentive as Chen Jinpeng, which made Shen Jingxian feel a little strange. She couldn't help but look at Xiaochen a few more times. After getting in the car, Xiaochen started the car and didn't talk to Shen Jingxian again. Instead, he drove the car directly out of the parking lot. "Do you know where my home is?" Shen Jingxian couldn't help but ask curiously. Xiaochen used to be a student of No. 1 middle school, so he should know. It was very late today, and the dormitory building of No. 1 middle school was already closed. If Shen Jingxian didn't show her identity as the young lady of the Shen family, she could only go home to stay. But Shen Jingxian rarely used this identity. "Oh, so you want to go home? I thought you were going back to school." Xiaochen used to go back to school very late, but as long as he said his name as the young master of the Xiao family, the guard would quickly open the door for him. It was the same for Shen Jingxian, but he didn't expect that Shen Jingxian wanted to go home. What a good child. However, Xiaochen also knew about Shen Jingshuan's home. "My family also knows. I used to be obsessed with you for a while, so I also investigated your home address, hobbies, height, 3 measurements, and so on." Shen Jingxian looked at Xiaochen in shock. She didn't expect that Xiaochen would say it so naturally. He even said that he was infatuated with her. She thought that he would be secretive about it. However, forget about the address, he even investigated her 3 measurements? Of course, I didn't find out. Xiaochen smiled. You scared me." Shen Jingxian patted her chest. She was just thinking about who exposed her information. Cheng Menjing was probably the only one who knew. However, Cheng Menjing obviously wouldn't tell Xiaochen. Shen Jingshuan's words made Xiaochen stunned. In the past, when he saw Shen Jingxian, she always had a gentle look, and the speed of her speech was not too fast or too slow. It made people feel like they were bathing in the spring breeze. He had never heard such a little woman's tone. When Shen Jingxian saw that Xiao Chen didn't speak, she also realized the problem with her words just now. She couldn't help but smile and say, "I am a normal girl. Of course, there are times when I am surprised." But this time, her speed of speech returned to normal. It was warm and soft. "It seems that I am quite honored." Xiao Chen nodded. If it were before, when Shen Jingxian said this to him, he would be very proud, but now everything seemed to have become indifferent. "Yes, it is your honor to let you see this lady speak like this." Shen Jingxian was playful. She imitated Cheng Menjing's tone and said to Xiao Chen. Chapter 124. Pfft, huh. Xiao Chen suddenly laughed out loud. "You don't say, it's really similar. They are indeed best friends. Even their voices and expressions are very similar." "Xiao Chen, to be honest, I really didn't expect you to become like this one day." Shen Jingxian put away her previous joking expression and said solemnly to Xiao Chen, "If you were like this before, maybe Menjing wouldn't hate you so much." "It's the same. It doesn't matter." Xiao Chen shrugged. "Now I'm eating and drinking under the big sister. I just have to make her happy." "You can do it. There will be a day when the Diao silk also makes a comeback," Shen Jingxian said with a smile. He didn't know why, but when Shen Jingxian said the words Diao silk in this tone, Xiao Chen felt a little strange. He had never heard Shen Jingxian say such words before. But thinking about it, he didn't have contact with Cheng Menjing in the past. It was impossible for him to imagine that Cheng Menjing had such a tsundere side. Only after being in contact for a long time will one discover the true side. Does it mean that behind every goddess, there is a man who has ked her until she wants to vomit? Xiao Chen shook his head. "I won't vomit, right?" The Panamera was a sports car. Xiao Chen's speed was very fast. There weren't many cars on the road at night, so they soon arrived at the Shen family's residence in Songning City. Shen Jingxian was also quite surprised that Xiao Chen didn't delay the time to talk to her on the way. "Didn't Xiao Chen always find an excuse to talk to me?" It was really difficult for her to overlap the current Xiao Chen with the previous Xiao Chen. They were completely different people. "I'm leaving, Xiao Chen, thank you for sending me off." Shen Jingxian unfastened her seatbelt, pushed the car door open, and waved her hand to Xiao Chen as she said softly, "Well, give Miss a call so that she won't worry." Xiao Chen nodded. "Okay." Shen Jingxian was stunned and then nodded. Xiao Chen seemed to be very concerned about Cheng Menjing. Or was it because Cheng Menjing was his mistress? Xiao Chen didn't say anything else. He didn't even have a trace of reluctance. He started the car and left the Shen family's residence with a beautiful drift. Shen Jingxian looked at Xiao Chen's car quietly and shook her head. "Xian, did Jinpeng send you back?" Shen Zhenghao heard the sound of the car in the courtyard and walked out of the villa. She saw her daughter standing at the door of the courtyard, watching a car leave. "Jinpeng?" Shen Jingxian was slightly stunned, then she shook her head and said, "No, it was Menjing." Shen Jingxian didn't expect that she would lie, but she felt that it was natural to lie. She was afraid that if she said it was Xiao Chen, it would implicate Xiao Chen. "Oh, where's Jinpeng?" Shen Zhenghao nodded and asked without the slightest doubt. "Chao Yuliang was beaten up today. Chen Jinpeng sent him back," Shen Jingxian said. "I wonder if my cousin-in-law likes boobs." Jean Beibei's words made Cheng Menjing somewhat happy. He. "I'm the goddess. It's just that Xiao Chen is a blind man who can't see how good I am. Beibei can see it." Xiao Chen's car was fast. Although he had played with cars before, it had been difficult for him to keep the speed at such a high speed. Although there were not many cars on the street at night, it was still a street, and the performance of a sports car could not be maximized. However, today, Xiaochen discovered that he could do it. Traveling in the traffic, Xiaochen could do it easily. He was almost one with the car. The six senses of a cultivator had been enhanced, allowing Xiaochen to execute every movement skillfully and flawlessly. Previously, Xiaochen had seen movements in racing videos, but he had never been able to execute them. Now, Xiaochen could easily execute them. Just like cooking with fried dough sticks, if Xiaochen were to take part in a race right now, it would not be a problem for him to win the first place. What an awesome cultivator! In fact, what Xiaochen did not know was that it would not be difficult for him to win the first place with his driving skills. As long as he practiced a few more times, he would almost be a god of racing. Jean Bebe was driving when she suddenly discovered that somebody was blinking at her with the headlights behind her. She was immediately infuriated. She was about to take a closer look when a red Porsche 991 drove past her quickly and overtook her instantly, parking on the side of the road. The plate number of the red Porsche 991 was TPC 991. It was one of the best plates, too. PC could be the abbreviation of sports car or the abbreviation of Porsche, the English logo of Porsche. With the plate number of 991, it was almost invincible. Only Chen Jinpeng's family could have auctioned such an awesome plate number. Holy sh*T. Why is my cousin-in-law here so soon? Didn't he go to send Sister Jingxian home? Did he leave Sister Jingxian on the side of the road? Jean Bebe looked at the car in front of her in surprise. It was Chen Jinpeng's car. Cheng Menjing frowned suspiciously after hearing Jean Bebe's words, too. Are you serious? Isn't Xiaochen in love with Jingxian? It would be great if he didn't send her home and dawdled a little longer on the way. How could he be so fast? It's hard to say. I don't think my cousin-in-law is so shallow. Jean Bebe shook her head. Cousin Menjing, have you ever dissed my cousin-in-law before? Why do I feel that he is a completely different person from what you described him to be? Cheng Menjing was rendered speechless. In fact, she felt that Xiaochen was a different person from what she remembered, too. Jean Bebe parked the car behind Xiaochen's Porsche 991 and then got out of the car. She happened to see Xiaochen also open the door and get out of the car. Cheng Menjing ran over and looked into the car, trying to see where Shen Jingxian was. However, she didn't find Shen Jingxian. She was a little anxious. She put her hands on her waist and questioned, Hey, Xiaochen, where did you take Jingxian? I sent her home. Xiaochen was stunned, not knowing why the eldest miss was mad again. Did he come back too late? But it was already very fast. Sent her home? Cheng Menjing looked at Xiaochen suspiciously. You came back in such a short time? This car is fast. Xiaochen said, I used to go racing, so I drove fast. Oh. Cheng Menjing nodded. She believed Xiaochen's words. She had heard that Xiaochen played with cars before. On the other hand, Jean Bebe looked at Xiaochen in surprise, but she did not say anything. The two cars set off from the wonderland of dreams at the same time. Xiaochen went to the Shen family's residence and then caught up with them. It was not as simple as racing. He was like a robot. Let's go to Bebe's home. Do you want to take my car or Bebe's? Xiaochen asked. I won't take your car. I will be scared to death if you drive so fast. Cheng Menjing snorted and got into Jean Bebe's car. I want to take my brother-in-law's car, Jean Bebe said. Bebe. Cheng Menjing shouted with a gloomy face. Although she could also drive, she didn't know how to control a sports car. She was afraid of hitting it if it was too fast. Oh. Then I'd better be cousin Menjing's driver. Jean Bebe closed the door of the Panamera and returned to the Porsche 991. You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.